It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig. You decide when you lose, not other people. And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, although apparently we're not going live on Rumble. I got to figure that out. Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the #1, soon-to-be #1 video game and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's Side Scrollers. Good to see everybody. Man, do we got a good one today. We're talking Elon Musk and all sorts of stuff. We're talking Transformers, y'all. We're going to dig into the whole Transformers thing. I'm a big old dork, and it's going to be great. Hello, Blabs. Great to see you.
Hello. You know, I usually think that between the two of us, I'm the more nerdy one, because I'm all like Star Wars and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, but no, I've been out nerded today.
Oh, boy, have you. You have been out nerded in a major way. Major. Hey, let's introduce our major nerd today, RodimusPrimal.
Shoryuken, Hot Rod doing a Shoryuken here for you. So since you started your show with a Shoryuken, I figured I'd start Hot Rod doing a Shoryuken. So
that's right. That's how we do it, man. I love it. Good to see you.
Doing
Well, hey,
right.
I'm glad you're here. Very excited to have you. You are a Transformer wizard YouTuber. And I don't know, give everybody a rundown of who you are so they can get to know you real quick.
yeah, I have a Transformers YouTube channel that talks Transformers news, retrospectives, character discussions. I'll do occasional toy reviews, and pretty much into all of these plastic robots behind me that you can see here, and that and much more. So yeah, fun stuff.
People love. They love them some Transformers, man.
Indeed.
It's amazing.
And the new Transformers comics that came out. Got that going on right here. And I met Mike Spicer. So if you notice here, the cross on Ratchet's shoulders there, he turns into an ambulance. Well, it's you're not supposed to have the red cross on ambulances.
Oh,
because of the Geneva Convention. And, in Japan, they didn't know that. So they had to digitally remove that for the front cover of the comic book. But you can see that here versus, here. So kind of cool stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I love those little like mistakes. Mistakes are like my favorite thing when it comes to toys and comics, and it's so fun to see those things. I love it. Love it. Well, very cool. Well, we're glad you're with us today. We're going to be getting into all sorts of good stuff. Do us a favor, guys. If you are watching us over on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. We'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We're live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. We got new guests on all the time. Tomorrow we'll have Melanie Mack rejoining the show, which is great. We are also live over at Rumble at rumble.com/sidescrollers as we inch closer to 5,000 followers over there. All organic, baby, which is awesome as we grow a little bit more every day over on Rumble, which is like there's going to be a day where our Rumble audience passes our YouTube audience, and that's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy.
I got to get my Rumble channel built up a little bit more, but I'm doing, that's a whole nother, thing to do. So.
We were talking about Rumble yesterday, and Rumble is where YouTube was at in like 2008, right? They're like 15 years behind. And people don't take Rumble seriously. Like, people don't remember what the internet was like 15 years ago. It was like Rumble. And Rumble right now, they need to make some serious changes, or not serious changes. They need to invest in infrastructure and to attempt to catch up. And not like a little bit, a lot, just from a feature standpoint, but they're doing their best. And they're like the little engine that could on the Freedom train, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we also have a Twitter account at Side Scroller Pod where you can watch clips from the show, which we're going to be posting more and more clips of the show and treating it almost like another YouTube channel because I I think X is going to be a place where you can watch stuff like that on the regular, which is great. We also have an Instagram, don't we, Blabs?
We do, and we hit 850 yesterday. So we are getting there, and let's get to 1K by the end of the year.
All right, awesome. Once again, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. We're trying to get to 300 thumbs up. Like we hit 310 memberships yesterday, a bonkers stream yesterday. And holy moly, we've already hit our first goal of the day. You know what, Blabs? Play it off. Play some music for us. I don't even know if we have music to play because Sir Neoff Strife has come in with 20 gifted memberships. Good God Almighty.
Very nice.
Play some freaking music. Anything, Blabs. Anything. Just do it. I got to write down this quick. Not into anything, Blabs. Wrap it out. Do something. There you go. Sure.
I know.
Are you going to put Blabs in the corner again?
Yeah, Blabs needs to go in the corner.
Uh-oh.
Look at it right there. No, I gotta make a new.
I can't even get in the corner, damn it. I just tried.
That's awesome.
Poor Blabs.
Look at it right there. Look at it. Right there. Oh, that's awesome. 20 gifted memberships. We have hit our goal already. Let's go. Let's have another spectacular day today. That is awesome, and we greatly appreciate it. With the 20 gifted memberships.
I love pickles. Pickles are the best. Pickles are tasty, and I don't drink the pickle juice.
I just wanted to leave it. I don't drink the pee, but I couldn't get in time.
You
Anyway,
missed
there's
it.
the
My wife
music.
and my son both love pickles.
I like pickles.
The chat agrees. The chat loves pickles, which is great.
I don't like pickles, especially on a sandwich. I'll eat a pickle every once in a while, but like whenever I get like sandwiches that like you can't ask for no pickles, I'm always like taking them off and I'm like handing them to my wife or handing them like my son will steal one off the
does
car.
with his pickles.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question, Blabs. And by the way, Roddy, I agree. I'm not a pickle guy. I'll say this. Back in
We don't need to hear that shit.
Oh.
No toxic
Well, you just
negativity from you
him out.
at 12 in the morning. Get out of here with that shit. But I guess I'll bring him back. He's giving me the stank eye right now. Here you go. Come back.
Look at his face, man. He is PO'd, man.
Craig's like, don't be such a
Dick.
That's right. Don't be such a dick. All right, look.
That's where he's gonna come in. He's gonna go, "Excuse me, princess."
Oh my gosh!
he doesn't know that reference. Ignore him.
I don't understand that reference.
Yeah.
I don't understand the "excuse me, princess" reference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that, Blabs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
You don't understand what Roddy just threw down. You don't understand the excuse. Do you know the excuse me, princess?
Yeah, we talked about it, but I know it from Star Wars, and you know it from something else.
I know it from the greatest Friday cartoon that aired during the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
That's right.
The Legend of Zelda.
That's right.
That's right. Oh my God, Blabs, you're just insufferable. Insufferable. Let me give you my take on pickles.
Excuse me, princess.
My take on pickles is this, right? I don't like pickles. I've never been a big pickle guy. But back in the day, I ran a brand called Game Attack. And at Game Attack, we had this thing called the pickle bed. I love those pickles. That's when somebody would donate $11 and we'd add them to this like little counter on the screen. On the stream, it was great. So we should definitely bring back the pickle bed in that sense. And maybe that'd be fun.
You can also bring on, what is it? One of James, the pickle on his show.
Oh, yeah, shit pickle. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah, good stuff. Great stuff. Just absolutely great. Hey, starting us off, we got Alan coming in with the $5 super chat. It says, I heard Elon already's been to Mars, told the Martians to F off, but I can't confirm. Tell slash person the 199. Well, we're definitely going to get into the Elon Musk story today, as you can tell by the thumbnail. This is crazy.
Makes
man.
you wonder though, do they look like? Do you have a Martian on your shirt, Blabs?
No,
Yeah,
I just have Sylvester, Lola Bunny, I forget his name, Bugs Bunny. Yeah.
No Martian that wants to
No,
destroy
because it's
the
just
Earth.
one from each house. And then it says I'd rather be at Hogwarts, and it's the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Play the video,
You gotta
Craig.
bring
I
the
know you
Martian
want
back.
to. Go ahead.
That's right. This is
Yep,
ridiculous.
That's right. I am a super nerd, so
Just ridiculous how nerdy you are. Hey, Viper came in with the 2, says, shouldn't there be 2 Bs in Blabs?
No, listen, this brew and my Epic Mike did this whole thing last year. We're past that. It's just, there are 2 Bs in Blabs. BLABS. Done. That's it. No more.
By the way, we've been talking about adding emotes to the channel.
We can have 2 Bs in Blabs.
Yeah, BLAB. Us. 2 Bs.
I'm going to add a nerd emote, and it's going to be the nerd from The Simpsons. And that's going to be great. Absolutely. And Alan came in with another gifted membership. Alan, thank you very much for that. That puts us at 21 for the day, coming off our amazing 310 members yesterday. We were at a mean 21.
If I had a fraction of that.
Listen, it was ridiculous. It was the biggest day ever. It was crazy. So thank you guys very much. And then our boy Extra Zero came in with the membership for 9 months. Says, Craig, you should use the one I did where it's you as Homer calling Krigler a nerd. That's right. Hey, Extra Zero, resend that to me, and I have no problem with that. That'd be great. Extra Zero, you're my boy. Love you, buddy. Excellent stuff. Well, look, like I said, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get into Elon Musk. We're going to get into Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, with the most out of touch way to fix their products possibly ever, which is just fascinating. We're also going to talk about how your bachelor's degree, which you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get, is now worthless, according to a number of different companies. Speaking of nerds, we found the biggest little nerd on the internet, which we want to show you guys. And also, we have a brand new Leroy Jenkins.
I love that. I was like, yes. I literally was hoping you didn't recognize that, or we wouldn't have. I remember that reference, and I was like, yes, Leroy Jenkins.
Damn right, man.
Or all your base are belong to us. Now I'm taking you back.
Listen, those who know. And I guarantee most of our chat knows for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, give it up for Tim, who is also a brand new member to the channel. Let's go, Timmy. Timmy, hey, kiss that baby. Love that. Good stuff, Tim. Thank you very much for becoming a brand new member. That puts us at 22 for the day. Outstanding, guys. Thank you very much. We are incredibly fortunate for that. All right, so let's get into it, man. Blabs, do you have anything you want to promote or talk about before we get into all the fun stuff?
Follow me on YouTube, Rumble, and Kick, and Instagram, and Twitter, and everywhere else. Done. Let's go.
Sounds great. A quick reminder, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and join the 57,560 wonderful common sense lovers here on the channel, bringing common sense back to the gaming and entertainment space. It's, here's the reality. They say common sense ain't so common anymore. Here's the secret. It is. Nobody just wants to admit it. We're out there. You're not that crazy. Everybody's like you. We're here to talk about it. And a quick reminder, today over on the Side Scrollers Plays channel, it is ending. The Mega Man Funathon is coming to an end today. I'll tell you this. If you're not joining the Side Scrollers Plays channel, which is once again an entirely separate channel where we play games and stuff, you're missing dramatic moments. Labs, a quick story about yesterday. I was playing through Mega Man 10, and I got all the way to Dr. Wily, who is the bad guy in the Mega Man series. I'm sure you know that, Blabs, except you don't. Okay. Mega Man 10.
Past, like what, one of the Robot Masters, or?
Well, I got all the way to the end, but I have the problem is that there's a little crowd control element to when I stream. So somebody donated, and I'm not going to say their name because I was really upset about it, but they put oven mitts on me. I have these oven mitts that I have to play the games with.
Oh,
and it totally, when I say fucked me, I mean it fucked me on Dr. Wily to the point
Why
to
do
where
you say it like that?
like fucked me.
Are you okay?
Listen, that's how it felt, right?
You need a life alert.
I felt like it. I need to tap that button yesterday. I was so defeated because I was at the end and I got a game over and now I got to redo it all over again. So anyways, Anyways, today, the ending of Mega Man 10 and potentially the end of the Mega Man Funathon, as I don't think we're going to get to Mega Man 11. So anyways, it was
Have you played Mega Man in base? Did you do that in your
I did not do Mega Man. That's on the GBA. What was that on?
There's the Super Nintendo version, which is better.
Okay. No, it was not on my list of games to play. Is it good?
It's hard.
Okay. All right.
It's hard.
I did hear that. I heard that about
Yeah.
it. But no, Mega Man and Base was not added to the list of games that we add. Maybe if we get to 11, we can add on there. I don't know. Who knows? Extra Zero says Mega Man 11 and Mega Man and Base was released on GBA. When?
Well, yeah, there is a Game Boy Advance version, and that's the first version that I beat. But then I played the English translated version of, Mega Man and Base, which that game is so hard. It's like very, very hard. What makes the Game Boy Advance version harder is that they didn't accommodate the screen size, the screen resolution difference between the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance. And so there are enemies that you're supposed to be able to see on top of the screen that you can see on the Super Nintendo version, but you can't see it on the Game Boy Advance version. Forget about it. They did that with a couple games that were ported from the Super Nintendo, where the screen it's not like a 1-to-1 ratio to where you got to move a little bit to see something that you would have seen on the Super Nintendo screen. I hated that. I'm pretty sure they did that in like the Mario Advanced ports, the Mario Advanced games, and then also the Final Fantasy games too.
Oh, it's the worst. And they say we don't talk about video games on side scrollers. Get the fuck out of here. All right. Let's get into it. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News.
Hard news.
Oh, I forgot about the yeehaw.
You?
I know. I forgot about it.
Fucking dare
All right.
You, me in the movies is in the chat going, yeah, and you just cut him off like that? Say you're sorry to Eric.
I'm not going to apologize to Eric. Get out of here. Blabs, what? Don't apologize on this channel. Ridiculous.
God
All
damn
right.
it. I'm here for you, Eric. My man.
Yeah, that was rough. My boy Eric. All right, listen. Yesterday, there was a really amazing point of little background. Every year, major brands get together, and there's this thing called the Deal Book Summit. And it's where major companies go to essentially put themselves out in front of potential advertisers for their companies. This happens all the time, happens every year, and it's built around the idea of, hey, this year is ending. How are you going to spend your budget moving into the next year? This is something that after Screw Attack was acquired, I worked with Full Screen. They made a big deal out of this. Full Screen was like, we're going to go to New York, and it's like a big dog and pony show where everybody sticks out their chest and they say, look at how great our brand is. Come advertise with us. We're so family friendly and all this stuff. So Elon Musk was there yesterday, and he has an interviewer who's asking him about how X is in a very volatile state right now. And Elon, you've been I think we should probably just watch the clip. But it was very, very, very memeable with what happened. And if you haven't seen this yet, I mean, prepare to have your
I
jaw
actually
drop.
haven't seen this yet. I've been waiting.
Oh, you haven't seen this?
No,
live?
I do this stuff live.
Ooh, you're doing it live. All right.
Doing it live, bro.
So let's take a look at how this was brought up here. This is a 2-minute, 14-second clip. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch about the first 40 seconds or so. So here we go.
Obviously, you know that there's a public perception that, and you're clarifying this now, but there's a public perception that was part of a apology tour, if you will.
He's speaking about him going to Israel recently.
That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't
So he's saying there's criticism by you. What about the advertisers?
want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
Go fuck yourself.
I'm going to clip that.
Needs a little bit more Italian, you know? It needs a little bit more Italian in there.
A little more Italian. Hey,
You know,
Blabs, give him a little more Italian. How should Elon have said it?
Vaffanculo.
Vafancula.
There you go.
Is that
No,
right?
don't do that. No.
Is that how you say it?
No.
Needs a little bit more like that New Yorker emphasis. Like, go yourself.
How do you say it, Blabs?
Va.
Va.
Fan.
Fan.
Culo. With an O at the end.
Vafancula.
Lou! Oh my god, I'm saying oh, and you're like,
Oh my
It's like
God.
Friends and Joey and Phoebe going, and she's like, boopity boopity boo. That's you right now.
That's what it sounds like. Blabs. I feel like I'm nailing it. Maybe so. Obviously, he's pretty much just. It's the double birds, straight up to all the advertisers, and he specifically calls out Bob Iger at the end, where he's like, "Hey, these people they're saying they're not going to
Like, you
advertise."
listening, Bob?
What's that? I'm sorry.
You listening, Bob?
Right. And he actually says, "Hi, Bob," at the very tail end of it, which I don't know if you picked up on that, but that's just absolutely brilliant stuff because he's calling him straight out.
Yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob. Sure.
Hey, Bob, which is clearly a direct shot at Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, which is absolutely amazing.
The most out of touch CEO on the planet right now.
Well, we're going to get into that for sure. But he came in and he's saying something that very few people can say on the planet Earth, right? You were talking about one of the richest men on Earth who, look, people will say, there's a lot of people who will say you can't be a billionaire without doing bad things. And I would say you're probably right. Probably right? You probably at some point have
Screw somebody over.
probably. There's probably a good chance of that, right? It is what it is at this point. That's the beauty of the system, right? That's life. Life is not a situation where everybody's holding hands and singing Kumbaya. It's pretty fucking cutthroat, and it can be cutthroat. And Elon Musk is showing that. And he's one of the few people on Earth that can do what he did with a room full of advertisers, effectively do one of these where he just pulls up his middle finger so slowly and then just retracts it and just waves and walks off, which is amazing to see. I don't care what you think about Elon Musk from a personal standpoint, but the fact that he has the brass nuggets to sit in a room and do that is fascinating to me.
Yep. And it was well deserved too, because you think about it, like, it goes to show you that all of these companies and all of their messaging and all the things that they keep rambling on about is really more so about how much money can I buy you with? And all of these companies are bought and paid for, and all their advertisement revenue is bought and paid for to make you say what they want. Well, you can't, if you have someone like Elon Musk who says, you can't buy me, you can't control me, you don't own me. It isn't so much whether or not we agree with him or not agree with him. It's more so about the fact that he can come along and say, yeah, no, you're not going to control me. I'm going to do it my way. And that's just going to be it. I'm not going to turn and make things the way that you want them. If I perceive it as being evil and I don't feel right doing it, then I'm not going to do it. And good on him. Good on him. Like, that was like, yeah, the I am Iron Man moment there that, like I said there in the, in the chat there. So like, it's exactly like that. You when you have the brass balls to actually say, no, you don't control me. You don't own me. You can't rule. You don't own me. Like I will do it my way. And that's just it. And that's a better way to look at it.
And that the biggest thing is, I think what that does is it makes them an even bigger threat, threat to how they do business.
Yep.
Which is amazing to see, because there's not a single person on Earth, zero people on Earth that wouldn't like to be able to do what Elon Musk had just did. The fact that he's able to do it, it's the most boss move you've ever seen. Once again, regardless of what you think of him as a person or his thoughts or his politics or whatever, that's such a power move. And then to say to the CEO of the most recognizable entertainment company on Earth, hey, Bob, go fuck yourself, to a room full of advertisers, is so chef's kiss.
It's needed right now. It is absolutely needed. More and more companies should be finally getting enough kahunas to say, no, step back, push back. You don't own like these people in Europe who meet once a year and, you know, wear supervillain outfits and try to buy everybody out and saying that we'll own nothing and be happy, right? And they want to buy and pay for all these companies. No, I like, if I want to make videos online, or if I want to make a widget that sells, you know, I don't necessarily want to be told that I have to make certain statements in order for me to have the capital to be able to make it. You know, instead it's about, can I sell the product and make the product good? You know, whether it's, again, making videos online like we do, or making a widget that sells, or running a social media company, or selling an electric car or a gas powered car. You know, it's a matter of, this is what we're making, this is what we're selling, and we want it to be good. And you don't control us. We make it the way that we want it. So
what's amazing is that he actually continued later on, and this clip has not been passed around as much. But here's the part which I think is, he's specifically talking about the virtue signaling of companies. And I don't know if you guys have seen this clip, but this may be even better and more important than what he said.
And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them.
What a profound statement.
Big time.
Just hear that one more time.
And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them.
The idea of, hey, look at all these great things. By the way, make sure you change your X profile, your Twitter profile, your Facebook profile to match the narrative, to make sure it's a black box, a blue box, there's a flag in it. Make sure you do all these things to let everybody know what a good person you are. Puff out that chest. Here we are, by the way.
I'm going to give two, now I guess you can say, are ancient examples of this. Number one, from the Bible directly, the three that refused to bow down to a Babylonian empire and were tossed into the fire and lived. And then, of course, what Jesus literally called the Pharisees when he called them whitewashed tombs. They're clean on the outside, but on the inside, they're dead.
Dirty as hell.
And this is exactly what Elon Musk pretty much calls out right here. So very profound statement.
We got some dirty bitches in business. I'll tell you that much. And look, I want to be really clear, right? To use the analogy, the Bible analogy and the tomb analogy, look, there ain't a single person, especially once again, billionaires who are clean on the inside, right? Elon has some ghosts, and he's gone out of his way and said, like if you're an enemy of mine, I will fuck you up, right? And so many, he had a post about that on Twitter the other day, and I'm sure he's gone out and left an absolute trail of tears as he's gone on to become a profitable businessman, right? On some levels, it's deplorable. On other levels, it's extremely respectable. It's to see what he's done, and the fact that he's so tied to the success of his businesses, and every business that he does, he throws his heart and soul into it. Even on X, he said, like, look, I'm going to step back. I'm going to go work on Tesla and the Boring Company and SpaceX and all these major companies, but he still is at this the Deal Book Summit representing X, when he very much could have just had Linda Yaccarino, the CEO of X, be there and do her best to sell. Because once again, she was brought in because she has these connections to these blue chip companies, and that was her entire job. And now he's made her job harder, which, speaking of, she followed up with a post on X talking about it. She said, today, Elon Musk gave a wide-ranging and candid interview at DealBook 2023. He also offered an apology, an explanation, and an explicit point of view about our position. X is enabling an information independence that's uncomfortable for some people. We're a platform that allows people to make their own decisions. And here's my perspective when it comes to advertising. X is standing at a unique and amazing intersection of free speech and Main Street. And the X community is powerful and is here to welcome you. To our partners who believe in our meaningful work, thank you. So obviously she's trying to play a little bit of damage control when it comes to the
She's playing it nice. She's
right,
playing,
right.
She has to, because that's her job.
Of course.
She has to play the PR manager. Whereas, Elon has the FU money to say, screw you. And you're not gonna control me, you're not gonna own me. And you got her job is to save face. So she's doing her job.
So Musk came back afterwards, and I wanted to continue this because this is after the line of questions, and this is the only thought I had. Okay, well, let's just continue this really fast because as we continue to go here, I will say this: there's definitely I have some concerns about this statement, and we'll continue here.
Let me ask you then.
That's how I feel.
By the way, look at him looking over the audience here, like he's literally looking at the audience. Because the audience doesn't know how to respond to this. When was the last time somebody walked on stage and was like, hey, F off everybody here if you're going to try to blackmail me? Mm-hmm. And he's looking at them. He's looking at them looking at him. And they're trying to figure out what the hell just happened.
Well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
GFY.
GFY. If I'm beholden to advertisers, go fuck yourself. But let's continue real quick.
I understand that, but there's a reality too, right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, no, totally. So, no. Actually, what this advertising boycott is
had a little bit of a brain malfunction there.
is going to do.
Well, we understand. I mean, he has to gather his thought there, but
right.
We understand why.
Right.
And do you think that
and the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say
tell it to Earth.
But they're going to say Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform. Right. That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
So
let's see how Earth responds to that. Let's see how Earth responds. Now, I said this yesterday on X. There's a lot of really stupid people on Earth. And that's my only concern with that is like I think he's giving Earth way too much credit. Right? He works with a lot of smart people.
There are people who agree with him, disagree with him, love him, hate him, that are still on X or Twitter. I still call it Twitter. It's just, but it's, they're still on there. They're still posting. They're still talking about whatever the heck they feel like. Right. So like, oh, Disney's pulling their advertisement. Well, then maybe someone else might actually, pick up the slack. But then again, he doesn't necessarily care. There are plenty of users who are on there and are talking and having their conversations. And there are people who will come from the left, come from the right, and they just talk. So like, it's quite clear that, they ramble on about how much that maybe you shouldn't say that, but they're still on Twitter.
So,
and they're still posting.
And I think how many times have we seen a Twitter alternative? Most recently Threads, right? There was this big where everyone's moving to Threads. What the fuck is Threads?
Nobody's just basically at a Facebook and Instagram combined.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It's a blip on the radar because what happens every single time is these people come back and they can't. It's that dopamine hit, man. It's that instant, insatiable flavor of that retweet is so good, and you know what? It's going to continue that way. Like, X is a powerful platform. The long-term vision of X is to make it, the everything app. I think that it'll get there personally, because it continues to grow. It will continue to grow. The page users are up. The users are up. It is a platform that has seen so many ups and downs, a roller coaster that has seen the lowest of lows, the highest of highs, depending on the perspective that you look. One may be the other. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And obviously, the goal of X is to make it a platform that is not reliable on advertisers. And I got to be honest, that's the goal of our podcast. You know, we don't want to be. We've had sponsorship offers, right? But we don't want to be beholden to some of these people. Well, you got to say this. You can't say this. You know, which is why it's important to have days like yesterday where we have 310 members, right? And the support comes from you guys. Like, for us to be able to say what we want to say, how we want to say it, it's the exact same analogy with X, just exponentially larger. And it goes for not just us, but everybody else on the internet. You have to support. And it's interesting to see these brands who are saying, yeah, okay, I'll support you now. These free speech brands who are saying, well, I was going to donate $10,000. Now I was going to invest $10,000 in advertising. Now I'm going to donate, or now I'm going to buy $100,000 in advertising. Like, good for them, you know. But that 100,000 needs to be 10x, 20x to make up for Disney pulling out its 100 million in advertising.
True.
So, you know, it's a drop in the ocean.
Right. But Disney is now is getting into a place where it's losing more money, hand over fist, you know, which I know that's like one of the next topics you wanted to talk about. But at the same time, Disney is sitting there, they're trying to control the narrative, and yet they don't realize they don't have the money, they don't have the capital to keep messing around like this. Now when Epcot looks like it's still under construction, you know, not when not when the movies are not making money at the box office, not when you don't have money to mess around and start telling companies what to do when you don't have the money to do that with. So, yeah.
Well, we're going to get to Disney in just a second. And as always, we like to hear what you guys have to say. Let's get to some super chats real quick. But first, I want to let you know that Melodic Method came in with 10 gifted memberships. Look at it right there going on the wall. Love to see that. Thank you very much. We're filling it out. The wall's getting filled. Got to fill it up. Right there. Love that. Thank you so much, Melodic Method, as I come back to my little place over here. All right, very good. Thank you very much, Melodic Method, with the 10. If you guys got gifted a membership from Melodic Method, make sure you guys say thank you. That currently puts us at 32 members for the day.
We like that green in the chat. It's pretty.
Love to see that green. Torgo came in with the 2. Says, Elon getting corpo press pilled, and I'm here for it. Thank you very much, Torgo. Appreciate that. He is, like him or not, he is definitely one of the most fascinating people on earth right now. I mean,
even just being in front of all those people and saying, I don't give a fuck. It's just so interesting.
One of the most boss moves ever. Crazy. Viper came in and says, since it used to be called Twitter and Elon Musk renamed it X, does that mean we must now call it Twix? No,
I think there's a candy bar that might have a problem with that.
That's right. May run into a few copyright issues there for sure.
Yeah.
And D34 came in and says Elon had a total I am Iron Man moment right there.
He did.
Yep.
Thank you, D34. Appreciate that. Dice Punk Studios says
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's right. And don't forget the Pharisees who wore the phylacteries on their foreheads to flex how holy they were. Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad you know.
I didn't want to mispronounce the names, so like I didn't have the names in front of me to like sit there and go Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which wasn't their real names. That their Jewish names were different, but that was the names that were given to them by the Babylonian Empire. So, yeah,
wicked. Thank you, Dice Punk. Appreciate that. That's great. Dice Punk followed up with says, I love how Elon keeps eye contact while reaming, just staring into their souls.
I bet you he took like a whole lot of classes of just like how to talk in front of people, all these type of social classes. Like you must have eye contact, how you shake hands, etiquette, everything. It's like a whole Princess Diaries moment.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah,
that's one of the things that like when you're on YouTube, like I find like I'm looking at you guys like from my camera, like where I am on the screen, but I should be looking here and I'd be looking right at the screen. You know what I mean? I'm looking right at the camera, but it's just.
I struggle with this every day because I want to look at you guys. I'm looking here if I'm looking here, but most of the time I'm trying to ha ha ha.
Because then you want to read the chat. You want to, you know.
Yep. It's a constant struggle. This is first world problems, man. It's crazy. Dice Punk came back and says, RodimusPrimal, you're now my favorite Transformer tuber.
Transformers YouTuber. Yep. TF tuber.
Thank you, Dice Punk. Appreciate that.
Transform and roll out.
Roll out. Elite Neo came in and says, props Rodimus for mentioning Mega Man and bass. Got me reminiscing playing that on an emulator, plus a few SNES RPGs that never hit the US until their GBA Switch releases. Looking at you, Final Fantasy V, and that game, aka Secret of Mana 2.
Seiken Densetsu 3, aka Secret of Mana 2, or now known as Trials of Mana.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Elite Neo. Listen, we have the nerddom is here today. We've nailed it. Thank you, Roddy. Appreciate that. And thank you, Elite Neo. Followed up with this.
No. I put one up. Stacks said I missed something. Who is this Clegg guy?
happened yesterday. Change my name. Change my name.
I changed it yesterday. Your name is Clegg from now on.
And
congratulations.
Right. Look, always look. That's right, Mr. Miyagi. As I'm
wax
sure
on, wax off. I can't. I tell you this much. I'm hoping Cobra Kai season 6 is good.
Did you see the news about the new Karate Kid trailer for the new movie?
I don't know about. I don't know how I feel about that.
Me neither.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Hey, and Blake came in with a 2 over on Rumble. He says, "Knock knock. Who's there? Go fuck yourself." That's right. Thank you, Blake. Appreciate that. All right. Let's move on. So we know that Disney is in tremendous peril right now. They have seen all sorts of issues from their parks to their movies to all sorts of issues stemming through their company. They have gone in all sorts of crazy directions. Really, since 2020, when the pandy hit, they had some major issues that ultimately culminated in their most recent release, the most recent live action release of The Marvels, which was a record low opening, followed with their latest animated movie, Wish, seeing tremendous low box office as well. So there was a recent earnings call with Disney CEO Bob Iger on it. And people were like, well, how are you going to fix this? And Bob Iger has come with one of the most tone-deaf, dumbest ways to fix things ever. Now, I will say this. At its core, I understand what he's saying, but it's also the most dumbest thing ever. So let's go over here to IGN with this story. It's crazy. Disney CEO thinks The Marvels is underperforming because there weren't enough executives. Bob Iger wants more cooks in the kitchen, apparently. So at the DealBook Summit, which Elon Musk was rolling through like like butter with a hot knife, he was in here and he's talking about the quality over quantity aspect that they're going with now, which is something they talked about in the last week or so. They've decided instead of just pumping shit out, let's say, hey, let's make some good stuff. How about that? And people will come and watch it. And he says, quality needs attention. It doesn't happen by accident. Quantity, in our case, diluted quality, he said, per NBC News. And he was talking about The Marvels in particular. And Iger said, part of the reason it's falling short is because it was shot during the COVID-19 pandemic. And therefore, there wasn't as much supervision on set, so to speak, where we have executives that are really looking over what's being done on a day-to-day basis, pretty much. I would say right now, my number one priority is to help the studio turn around creatively. So if you're doing that, do you really want executives on set telling everybody what they're doing wrong? Because from what I've heard, the Marvels movie is actually pretty okay. The problem is that nobody wanted to see it and for a number of reasons. Obviously, people are sick and tired of Disney. There's superhero burnout, Brie Larson burnout. There are a number of different reasons.
I've never heard that.
I've heard that it's okay.
I heard it was absolutely terrible and that Captain Marvel is like her own villain of the movie.
Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I've just heard that. But I don't think, regardless of what you think of the movie, right? I don't think that by them having another set of eyes or two sets of eyes from an executive position and saying, no, we need to do this, we need to do this, is really going to pull them out of the hole that they're in.
If they're gonna have like all these people going all full blown message and just do whatever the hell they want, and you bring in an executive producer who's seen all this and is going, whoa, what is this? Change this right now. Hey, that might actually fix stuff. If there's nobody supervising and actually seeing this stuff day to day happen, which I think is really funny. If they're saying that it was shot during COVID, there's so much technology now that you can literally just set up a web camera and see what's going on. Why are you telling me there's no supervision? This is Disney. They got all the supervision in the world.
Wait. So Blabs, you think that Bob Iger's solution is correct? Get more executives on set, not executive producers.
No, I'm saying get more people who actually care about the project, who actually want to deliver a project that has no message in it. It's just a family-friendly, fun movie. Then yeah, if you're going to bring in more of the same people, then it's going to cause more issues. But if you bring in new people with new solutions who actually have a history and a career instead of just bringing in new people who've never written stuff for shows before in your life, then yeah, you're going to get the same shit over again. But if you bring in, like I said, new people. Okay,
but hold on. Let's take a step back here, Blabs. These executives who they're bringing in, right? These may be, they may or may not be tied to the movie. They may not. And you remember that whatever the message is that's being pushed in it, whether it's girl power, whether it's whatever. And once again, if you want to push that stuff, great, do it. Ultimately, the audience will decide. But these executives hire the people to make the decisions to ultimately greenlight these movies, right? These executives, in many cases, are the ones greenlighting these movies. So they know what the message or what the plot of the story is going to be going in before, like, all these things are gone over way before they say, we're going to budget $100 million for this movie. You don't just throw $100 million out. So they know what's coming before they invest in the movie.
But if you have those people at the top of the line who are not greenlighting these shitty ass projects, then none of these projects would exist. So I'm saying bring in new people for new projects who won't release this stuff, then we have a solution. If you just, like I said, bring in the same people for the same type of projects, for the same type of message, obviously nothing's going to change.
Okay, but once again, Blabs, you're talking about people who greenlit this project and you want them to go oversee it already. You're right.
He says new people. They didn't greenlight it. If there's new people coming in and fixing it,
no, he's saying
the same people.
He's saying existing executives. He's not talking about cleaning house. So that's what needs to happen.
Forget about it. They're all fucked now.
Right, like, and that's the reality.
They want more top-down control. That's the main issue, and what that's really why many of us would feel that Iger is out of touch, because he doesn't quite understand that you need to have people who actually care about this stuff. I interviewed Jim Shooter, and he was lamenting about the fact that Ike Perlmutter was getting shoved out the door because Ike Perlmutter cared about Marvel. Jim Shooter at one time was actually going to buy Marvel before, one of the corporations ended up buying it out. And, the thing is that at the time, by pushing him out, you're pushing the last person who actually cared about the integrity of Marvel, about what Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and all these people built, not just from the comic books, but now the movies. Because the movies around 2015, 2016, around that era, when Secret Wars, that version of Secret Wars happened that erased the 616 and erased the Ultimates universe and combined them into one universe, and then basically transformed the entire Marvel continuity into storyboards for the MCU, and made it really terrible movies after Endgame. Now, mind you, there might have been some diamonds in the rough there. I've heard that The Marvels was actually a decent flick, right? But how many different movies are being made now, or TV shows that are being made now, and they're not really good stories. They're not worried about telling a good story. They're more about selling a message, being preachy about it. And even if you believe in those things, how come you're not telling it in a good storyline? Why are you not making it engaging and fun and enjoyable and actually care about these characters, which is exactly what the actress who plays Miss Marvel in the movie saying, like, hey, we want movies that are good. How come we can't get movies that are good? How come we can't get stories to care about them? I want to care about Miss Marvel. Can you tell me a story that makes me actually care about her?
Right.
You know,
Well-
do you have to change the fundamentals of a character like Captain Marvel, where Marvel is fundamentally changed in the movies because you feel like it? You can't deliver for us with a comic book accurate version of a character. Come on now, like forget about it. Like we're not going to be engaged in these movies. But then on top of that, we've seen how many superhero flicks nowadays. We've got, if
Right.
you're not going to be engaging us and telling us good stories, if the movie is not good, it doesn't matter if we care about the character anymore. If you're not going to tell a good story with that character, I don't want to see it. So now someone, like not just me, but like so many people are not going off to see these movies, and they're not making the money because people don't want to go see it. They want to see good stories. It's why you see other movies all of a sudden show up and make bank, because like the Super Mario movie is taking them to lunch. You know,
Of course.
There was a time, who was it? The actor who played Luigi in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show said, "We're bigger than Mickey Mouse." Well, yeah, now we can literally say Mario and Luigi are bigger than Mickey Mouse. And It's the same thing with Marvel. It's the same thing with Star Wars. It's the same thing with how many other Disney properties that are getting shoehorned into stories that don't work for those characters. So, yeah.
When you look at, well, I'll tell you, let's continue with this article. There's a little bit more in this article, which I want to continue because it's actually quite telling to when you hear his thought process here. It says, still as mentioned, here we go. Still, as mentioned, Iger has repeatedly stressed that Marvel and Disney at large will be slowing down on the churn of content that ramped up exponentially with the launch of Disney Plus in 2020, calling it a definite mistake to increase output so heavily. He, however, still defended making sequels at Disney, saying he doesn't want to apologize for it. Some of them have been done extraordinarily well. They've been good films too. Some of them have been good. Some of them have been pretty good films, which means some of them or most of them have not. I think you are there. I think there has to be a reason to make them. You have to have a good story, and often the story doesn't hold up to us not as strong as the original story. That can be a problem, right? So the idea of like just because the first movie did good doesn't mean you have to go back and make a sequel. Like you don't have to make a sequel.
The
Just
only
let the first
reason
one
the
win.
first Marvel's movie even did well was because it was wedged in between the Avengers movie. So everyone's like, this is amazing.
Right.
Let's go see this. And it wasn't even that great of a movie. I'll be honest. I was bored when I watched Captain Marvel, the first one.
This is interesting here. He talks about the transition between with Bob Chapek after he left, and then Bob Chapek came in 2020. He says, I was disappointed in what I was seeing in the transition period while I was out. So he's like, Bob Chapek sucked. I worked hard at distancing myself from it. And this is interesting. He said he added that he would definitely step back as CEO once his contract is up in 2026. He said he's been fixing a lot of problems that the company has had and dealing with a lot of challenges, reiterating previous statements that Disney has been in a period of fixing after a year of layoffs and box office.
He made those problems.
Yes.
He made those problems. And then he got Chapek in to be the fall guy.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see.
He got fired from an Elton John concert.
What's that, Blabs? One more time?
Bob Chapek?
Yeah.
He got fired during an Elton John concert. What was it, like on a Sunday night or something? So it's like, damn, bro, you really are evil.
But Iger never left.
Exactly. No,
Iger never left. He was still there. He still had the office with the shower.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to Michael Jordan it, come back with the 4-5 on, with the 45 on, and come in and make a change. And I'll tell you what, he's playing like Michael Jordan of the Barons instead of Michael Jordan of the Bulls, at least being an executive right now, which is crazy. So anyways, I just found that incredibly hilarious. And I like, yes, we need more people on set telling people what's wrong.
No,
so
what you need is you need to have people who care about the property, care about the story, care about the characters. I say this about Transformers all the time. Again, it's always going to come back to these robots in disguise, man. I care about the characters. I care that Trailbreaker laughs because he, realizes he's a gas guzzler of a vehicle and he wants to try and get everybody's get the morale up among the Autobots. I'm using him as an example of a character that, like, hey, I care about. You know what I mean? Like, that you would never ever care about. But if you actually look into the bios of these characters, if you have someone who cares about Spider-Man, cares about Captain America, cares about Iron Man, cares about Luke Skywalker, cares about Han Solo, any of these properties, if they actually cared, they would deliver us good stories with those characters in mind. And I mean, you can tell a good story over and over again, and and use whatever character you want. If you care about that character, how will that character behave in that same situation? So, and unfortunately, you have people who are not willing to tell those good stories. They're more so trying to tell you something, and then using the characters as a forefront to tell that message, and it's not really correlating into a good story. So,
all right, well, thank you very great way to put a pin in it, Roddy. Great job. Okay, so let's move on. But before we do, like, we're going to get to a new Leroy Jenkins here in just a minute, and we're going to tell you guys why your bachelor's degree is absolutely worthless. But before we do, I want to get to some super chats. As Darian Murphy came in with the $9.99, says Elon should ban Disney and the cast of their films on X. If the cast advertises their films, they lose their account. He should also make a Tesla phone. He would cut iPhone sales by a third.
What makes you think he's not working on a phone right now?
I mean, that'd be fascinating if he came out with his own store.
Like, surprise! Comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, it works off of SpaceX or whatever, the satellites there, and then all of a sudden you have very good reception even in some of the worst cell phone areas. Like, don't get me started on cell phone carriers in this area.
How crazy is that? It's 2023, and in some places there is no cell service. You're like, what is this? Like, where are we? The 1930s?
Yeah,
we should have internet self-service everywhere at this point. There's no excuse.
Yeah,
it's just
don't
greedy people.
Don't get me. Like I said, don't get me started. I mean, mind you, like back, 2001, when the cell phone tower was on top of the World Trade Center, and then I couldn't get in touch with my dad because the cell phone tower was in New York, and my dad's a 9/11 survivor. So,
oh wow,
yeah, but that's I couldn't get in touch with him, like something crazy like that. But now in 2023, we're still worried about cell phone service.
Yeah.
So
crazy. Darian, thank you again for the $9.99, and really interesting. The Tesla phone would be a game changer. Alan says, wasn't Walt Disney's brain / head frozen? Bring him back already. Elon can help.
Yeah, there's literally a meme from Family Guy where he's like in an ice thing and comes back alive, and he asks a really bad question.
If they de-thawed him, they would Walt would go on a rampage on the company as it stands currently. He would literally go on a rampage.
Yeah, I read this book about Walt Disney. There's so many great things he's done, and you go and look at today, and you're like, you've ruined everything. And a quick story. So my mom is from Italy, and she grew up in the 50s and 60s, and watching Disney was a rarity because it had to be dubbed in Italy, and you could never really see these things. So when you got to see them in the theaters, they would disappear. You would get to see them once in a while on the TV, and it was a treat for people. And now she's like, Disney, these people have ruined my childhood. This was a treat for people in Europe because they can never get it. And they hate Disney now because of what they've done. Like, you've ruined everything. Everything you've touched is now ruined. Every remake is ruined. So lots of people hate Disney.
Yep, and it will continue. Darian says, Iger is not trying to make real change. This is just a PR move. They will never stop forcing their indoctrination. Thank you, Darian. Veggie Bad came in and says, I don't think Marvel's is trying to indoctrinate. They don't even believe in their own progressive values and just want to crank out stories with little effort as possible. Corpos don't care. And once again, I think this goes back to exactly what we were talking about earlier with Elon Musk, and specifically this statement right here.
And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil.
I mean, once again, nails it right there. And Gremlin came in, says, I don't believe the superhero fatigue deal because of what's going on with Ripperverse at the moment. It's garbage fatigue, plain and simple. So I think that's I think there's value.
Look at
in what
Transformers, man. They are selling like hotcakes. They're on the third printing of issue 1 now. Third printing. So
I also think
other comic book creators can make comic books and they can sell well. People are buying manga up like crazy. Like, it goes to show you that if a story is good, people will buy it. You know, people want to be told good stories. And and mind you that, if the storyline for Rippaverse is good, then I'm sure people are going to continue to buy it, right? Yeah. If the story is not good, even if they like the creator, I
agree. I 100% agree. And I do think that there is an element of protest buys, the idea of like, well, I'm going to buy it. There's definitely an element of that, but that also comes with being first out of the gate and having an alternative to a product that people don't like. And I think that's great of Eric, like, congratulations to him. He's obviously I think he's done like $3 million in sales this year. Like, that ball's crazy. Thank you, Gremlin. Kyle came in. So speaking of Elon, the Cybertruck came out today. Oh, wow. That'll be interesting to actually see those on the road. Yeah, the bulletproof one with the arrow
test run.
It's like Kit. It's bulletproof. Does it got the same alloy as Kit does? I just brought you back to the 1980s again.
Man, let's go. Let's go. Daramuth came in and says Disney failed. Friday Nights at Freddy prevailed. Daramuth, you are correct in that. And once again, what did they do?
They just
stuck to the core story of it.
Don't forget, Disney came out with like a Disney Funko Pop of the Stormtroopers and pride flags. Stormtroopers are representations of Nazis. So, Nazi
are you sending a message there?
Right?
Wow.
Like, interesting, Disney. They did that a couple years ago.
There? Wow, that's crazy. Kratos came in. Says Walt Zombie going on a political crusade to take back his company. Brain damage from freezing causes him to be extremely violent and irrational. Sounds like a movie idea. Oh man, that'd be awesome. If you were to take it and just make it not Disney, like make it generic company or like entertainment company and have the exact same premise. Oh, that'd be a brilliant movie. Brilliant movie. Or maybe a short. That's awesome. Kratos, thank you very much. All right. Let's move on. By the way, we are hovering at 1,000 viewers right now between YouTube, Twitch, and way more over on Rumble, which is great. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Do us a favor, wherever you're watching, hit the thumbs up button. We'd really appreciate that. By the way, we're gonna have a goal. I talked to this Blabs. I don't even know if we're on Apple Podcasts, but I say all the time we're gonna be the number one gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. I don't even know if we're on Apple Podcasts. I gotta look, but we got to get our numbers up there. Because I want to run roughshod over all the podcasts on there, because we have not pushed Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anything like that. We're primarily a video podcast here on YouTube, but nothing would make me happier to see us just burn that shit down. Oh, that'd be so good. The top 10 over on Google and oh my God, that'd be awesome. Anyways, Orthodox Monks came and read it off, Blabs.
Orthodox monks for $10. Movie quote of the day. I believe more in God than in myself. Father Nikolai Hiroyuki Tagawa live action Shang Tsung. You know what? Take it away, Rodimus.
Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa live action Shang Tsung. Pre-San, Confession of a Samurai Russo Japanese movie.
Ta-da! I did it. Nailed it. Totally
you nailed it. Okay. It's called A Fellow Paisan. I had to do a step in. There you go.
Say came in and says, this is a gaming podcast. None of your topics in the title even have anything to do with gaming. Yeah. Did you not watch the start of the show?
Fantasy 6 or Chrono Trigger?
Yeah. Do we need to talk about Mega Man and Bass again for 20 minutes to start the show? Like, what are you talking about?
And it says gaming and entertainment. Reading.
Right. Like, it's amazing that people like are critical. Like, oh, this used to be a gaming podcast. Side Scrollers has never been just a gaming podcast. And even if you can't do gaming every single day, because otherwise we're just talking about the most minute bullshit. And I don't want to talk about the most minute bullshit. Gaming to me is a hobby, and I like talking about gaming, but there's so much more outside of your gaming crazy bubble that you talk about review scores and all that shit. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? It's all opinions. Let's talk about some good stuff that's happening, that's actually affecting the world, that is fun in the entertainment space. And get over yourself. Let's go. Let us continue on. Let's talk about, hey, speaking of gaming and entertainment, let's talk about how you could potentially get a job in the gaming entertainment space without a bachelor's degree. You know that you don't go into college? It's useless. It's useless. We've been talking about this for a while. Blabs, give us the article.
Right. Boom. Title. How the college degree lost its value. Nearly half of U.S. companies plan to axe bachelor's degree requirements after Walmart, Accenture, and IBM lead the charge. So they're actually just getting rid of all these requirements for employees, saying, nah, you don't need a bachelor's degree anymore. We got you. So
Now,
I don't know how you feel about this, like delinquents or not delinquents, because colleges aren't really teaching stuff that people need to learn about anymore.
I'll say this. I've run multiple companies. And I have never once taken a resume and had it weigh any value into if I hire somebody or not. Never once. It always comes down to my rapport with them. It always comes down to the creativity associated with them. Now, look, I'm not hiring hundreds and hundreds of people. Like, I was very, selective on the people that I worked with in the past. So it's obviously a different scale, but at the end of the day, a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, master's degree, it's all relative. It's all bullshit bars that somebody along the line, some company, some guy was like, would be really great if the prerequisite to work here was a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree. And it became this status symbol where now people are realizing that you can get educated on YouTube, on the internet, without ever stepping foot in a college campus, or even in high school. There are people who are so much smarter in high school today, just based off the resources that they have now, than somebody 50 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. They have exponentially more resources available than any textbook in a college could ever
But are
teach
they
them.
taught those resources and what they need to learn from it? That's the main issue.
Yes.
I mean,
there's BOCES, there's life experience, people going
there
into,
is
like,
life
plumbing and
experience,
things.
but there is things to teach. And are we teaching, like, what are we teaching in those schools? Like, not just that in colleges, like, you get a degree, you're going to get a liberal arts degree. Is that going to get you anywhere?
Exactly.
Like, all that's going to say is that you now have the piece of paper that says you have a bachelor's degree. So does that mean that you can command a higher dollar amount, or does that actually get you somewhere with skill? Like,
Right.
I went to school specifically for graphic design, right? So, but when I got out of college, I had learned that the graphic design field was flooded with people who were artists who wanted to be graphic designers. And so you go for job interviews and they say, I have got a stack here of people who just came out of college and they have graphic design degrees. Why would I want to hire you? And that, when they tell you that when you walk in the door, before you even say a word, tells you right away that whether or not you're even going to get that job. Now,
Right.
so trying to actually have the experience and life experience in doing those things is where a lot of us in graphic design turn to freelance. Now, I'm just using graphic design as an example. But what are these people studying? Are they studying anything that will actually help them in the job field? This is why trade schools are so necessary right now. We need electricians. Good God, do we need electricians here in Florida? Good God, do we need HVAC people in Florida? We need roofing people in Florida because of hurricanes. I'm just using Florida as an example. We need with the trades and whatever it is, skills that you can learn if you have the will to do that. But if you're going to go to college, what is college going to get you if it's not going to be something that you're actually passionate about or you care about?
Well,
and some people find that hard work, physical hard work, is what they like. I like to work, I like to do video editing and graphic design. Like, that's what I enjoy doing, and playing with plastic robots. So,
okay, but with that said, a lot of the things that are being taught right now are archaic to the world that we live in today, right?
Yeah.
I have two daughters that will be college age in the next 10 years. I am 100% pushing them not to go to college. I personally believe that they can excel far faster in their career just by going in and interning or becoming an apprentice than they could going and getting a degree. Let's say you want to be a baker, right? Why do you need to go to culinary school? You think, okay, I need to go to okay, maybe that may be a bad example. Let's say you want to, people go in, they get like a business degree. I'm going to get a business degree. The fastest way to learn business is to find the most successful person in your area, go up to them and ask them if you can follow them around for 6 months. That's the fastest way to learn business. You learn how it actually works. You learn basic information. That's the most fascinating way and the most realistic and the cheapest way, and you get the most education in real life. There's an old scene from the Rodney Dangerfield movie, Back to School.
I love that movie. Love that movie.
And you know what the scene I'm talking about, where he steps into class and they're doing a business. They're going to have a business course, and the professor comes in. He's like, "Well, we're going to have a factory, and we're going to do this, and blah blah blah." And Rodney Dangerfield, who is a 50-something, going back to school, he's like, "Yeah, but what about greasing the politicians? What about getting all the everything you need to do?" And he talks about all the steps that aren't talked about.
Yep.
And on the surface, yes, you need this, but there's so many other layers that pop in along the way. And that was 40 years ago. Think about how much that has changed since then, and how that was accurate then. It's even more accurate now. It's amazing to see. And I think one of the craziest things, as we dig even deeper into this conversation, I liked this tweet a few weeks ago, maybe it was a week ago, and I saw this, and it goes back to our education system. How in the hell are kids not taught the following in school? Taxes, investing, budgeting, negotiating, wealth mindset, home ownership, personal finance, entrepreneurship, and compound interest. These are basic things that are in real life that are used every single day, that we send these kids who have these bachelor's and associate degrees out, and they don't have a clue as to how to use any of this stuff.
It's for control. That way you can control these kids when they're older, because they don't know what to do anything. Now, I'm the youngest one here, so I will actually give some college examples. I went to school for agriculture. Why the hell did I have to learn about humanities and things like that? And from teachers who had a whole agenda also. It's not even like a round thing of humanities, right? It was a very, very strict anti-Trump agenda. And I'm like, this is stupid. I'm here learning about agriculture. I don't need to learn about that. So there's one thing why bachelor degrees are kind of shit nowadays. Another thing, if you get a college degree from outside of America and you go and show it off, most colleges will not accept it, and you need to go and trade it in for credits. Now, I went to school for 3 years, and I got something out of it, and they wouldn't even consider that a bachelor's degree. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? This was more intensive than anything else at an American school. So there's a whole bunch of, like, cons and pros to this argument, and I think there's so many layers to this.
Of course. But at the end of the day, these companies are saying, hey, you no longer need this. And it also goes into the idea that you don't need these because a lot of times people who don't go to college are more qualified than those who just spent 4 or 5 years going through the camps, the education system. They go in and they're clueless because they leave with these bachelor's degrees expecting. You see some of these things, they expect to walk into $100,000 a year job. It's like, are you insane? I know that there's an intense inflation, but it's not going to help you when you're getting a salary. So. Yeah, it's
crazy. And everyone has to have their starter job too. You need to like walk in with an expectation that, you know, first and foremost, the employer is going to be looking at you like, why should I hire you fresh out of college and pay you X amount of dollars? You know, if you're more willing to take a lower dollar amount to begin with to gain that real world experience in the field that you studied. But the problem is that are these colleges teaching based upon the fields that they're studying in? No. A lot of people are going to college just to get the degree, but they're not going in to take a degree for what they want. You know, they're not learning the trades of anything that they're like the things that they actually want to go do with themselves. Because half of them, when they come out of high school, they don't really know what they want to do.
No clue. You know? No clue. And you know what? That's awesome. I have a niece who just entered her freshman year of college, and I said, like, listen, one of the best things you can do right now. This is one thing that a lot of people don't realize. From the age of like 18 to 30, you got this amazing decade plus window where you can just screw up, where you can just mess up. You can try all sorts of things because you're still considered young. You're still an up and comer, and people want to see that gumption, that go get itness to where if she was to walk up to one of these successful people and say like, look, I'm an 18-year-old girl. I want to learn from you. They would say, wow, I would love to pass on this information. Because I'll tell you this, I know a lot of wealthy people, right? People who have seen a lot of success in business, some billionaires, a lot of multimillionaires, companies that sell $100 million worth of products a year, right? And all they want to do is pass on their information. At a certain point, they have enough money. They just want to pass on and do good. That's why when you see these people pitching companies and they go, yes, they want to make some money, right? That's fine. But the biggest thing of these investors is they want to see the impact that these companies will make. And they want to see what good they will do because they have this money and they want to see. And once again, if they can find an apprentice to pass on that information, God, they eat that shit up. It's crazy. Yeah. So anyways, definitely this is more of the same. Eventually these people are just going to say, yeah, you don't need an associate. You don't need a master's degree. You know, it's all worthless because college is worthless.
And you learn from what you put your hands to. You know, for me, I'm more of a hands-on learner. So if I'm going to learn from something like, again, if I'm going to learn how to video edit, I'm going to learn from editing videos on a regular basis. You know, if I'm going to learn how to create a logo, you know, I'm going to learn the software. Those are things that I found the most interesting when I was in college. You know, but
100%.
Again, they wanted me to learn psychology and they wanted me to learn statistics and they wanted me to learn, I mean, granted, physics was probably not a bad thing to learn for a graphic designer, but certain fields, I mean, certain classes, I'm just like, I don't want to learn this. I don't care. Right. You know, didn't mind the having to go to a museum for art history, but that's a different story. You know, that's more about learning the ins and the outs of art. But it's a different field nowadays. Now they want you to learn, like Blabs was saying, the different classes, add more psychology and humanities classes to a degree that has nothing to do with that. That doesn't even help
the whole round culture, right? But you're also kind of wasting people's time. They want to get out there, get the education they need, and go to work and get money, right? You don't want to be stuck in college for extra semesters because you had to take all these requirements. It's just sucking more money out of these
exactly
people.
Right.
That's all it is.
And how much money per class?
Yeah, right.
Forget about
why do I need to learn all this stuff when I just need to go
and then you get out of
I
college
don't care about humanities.
And you have to pay back all that debt. And if you can't get a job, and that's the reason why so many people want to try to demand when they get a bachelor's degree to get X amount of money, because they realize that now if you don't start paying me good now in 6 months, I'm gonna have to start paying back this loan, and it's gonna cost me more than my car payment, the roof over my head, the food on the table, and with the inflation going up, the food just keeps on going up. So everybody just keeps on trying to get more money out of the system, but they don't realize that you basically spent so much money on time, debt, and paper. Exactly what as one comment there says.
That's
like
right.
You're spending so much money, and what are you getting out of it? Are you really getting your money's worth? And I don't think that the amount of money that people spend on these big, colleges. So why so many people go to the the at-home courses to get their college degree, so they spend less money to get their bachelor's. They do an online courses and stuff because they realize they have to have that piece of paper in order to get certain jobs, but they're not going to go and spend all that money on a big university that is too busy trying to make you take courses that have nothing to do with, or have teachers that literally want to preach to you instead of teach you. So
that's
I'll
it.
go to church for that.
I think we all see it. I think we all see it. We all know, we all see the writing on the wall with this. And yeah, I think this is just not going to end now. Like I said, that master's degree, it'll be worthless in 5 years. Let's move on. But in a second, we're going to get to the biggest nerd of the day, as well as the new Leroy Jenkins. And we're going to get to talking about Transformers. So you guys stick around. We're going to get into all sorts of Transformers nerd shit here in just a minute. But before we do, I want to let you know that Sir Neoff Stripe came in with 10 more gifted memberships. Blaz, play some music. Let's go. We use our singers.
Cowabunga.
Let's go. Bangarang! Oh,
I got that.
That's fine. Bangarang is great. Let's go.
Yeah. I need to find music.
Hey, that puts us at, find it right now while we're doing this. That puts us with 42. Well, I mean, I'm not like demanding you. I'm just saying to find something. You're like, Blab's going to put you in the corner.
You can't even do it. It won't work.
I will. I'm going to make one.
Have you seen the movie Blabs, Dirty Dancing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that you do get the reference. Okay.
Love it. All right. Sir Neoff Stripe, thank you again with the 10 more gifted memberships. That puts us at a sweet 42 for the day. Outstanding, guys. That's great. Wheeling Through Life with Brian with the 10 says Bill Gates didn't go to college. That's right.
That is right.
One of the worst.
Instead, he went to Xerox with Steve Jobs, met my dad, and started learning about the computers there. That Xerox was too busy.
I'm sorry. Hold on. What? Wait. Stop. What? Stop. What? He met your dad. What are you talking about?
Well, my dad used to work for Xerox fixing copiers, but they were working on computers back in Xerox back in the day, and then Bill Gates and Steve Jobs came in and they were learning all about the secrets of Xerox that they were doing with their computers. And pretty much is where Apple and, Microsoft came from.
From your dad?
Well, I mean, my dad wasn't necessarily the guy who was making the computers, but he was working on some of the software.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, but look, like I said, Bill Gates following it, going in and learning from somebody else. It's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, good old Tatsumaki.
Wow. Just doing a straight up kick across the screen right up on Bill Gates' face. That's crazy, man. That's awesome. Yep. Well, thank you for that. Death Proof says, "Where's Travis?"
The GUI was created by Xerox. That's right. Yeah, they created the GUI, and the thing about Xerox is that they were big on proprietariness. So if you bought a computer or you bought a copier, you had to go back to Xerox to get a part to fix your copier. You could not go to an aftermarket place. Apple is totally all about that. Steve Jobs learned that from Xerox. Bill Gates kind of was this in a similar way about that with Microsoft. And Xerox was created the GUI and went on into their offices and basically learned everything that they could learn. And the problem was that Xerox, the corporate heads at Xerox, did not know what they had. They didn't realize that they could sell, that they can create these computers and create this for every. They pretty much exactly as Snot Lips says, they gave their ideas away basically for free, and not realizing that they could have actually marketed their own computers. And it is the reason why we have Apple and Microsoft today, is because Xerox created this stuff and didn't know what to do with it.
That's crazy story, man. That's awesome. Death Proof wondered where Travis is. Did he leave? Yeah, Travis left the show at the start of October. He's welcome back anytime. So, Melodic Method came into the 10, says, to mildly contradict Labs. What's that?
I thought he was a chill dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude and chill. Says being well-rounded by taking humanities classes can be a very good thing, but it isn't happening in college anymore.
Yeah, there's always an agenda towards it, which is what I was saying. Like my teacher, her name was Penny. She was all like, re against Trump. And I'm like, this isn't even America.
I failed a psychology course because I was a man.
You failed one because you're a man?
Hmm? Yeah.
Even worse.
Every single male student in that class failed in psychology. This was back in 2001.
Wow.
Because, hey, like not a single one of us passed the class.
Because you don't understand.
Like now,
you don't have a vagina. You don't get it.
We couldn't say anything because she never stated that was the reason why we failed. But you know,
Did you have
and
to
I found
retake
that
the course?
interesting. I ended up taking I had to take another class, and basically I had to spend more money to take
There you
another
go.
class in order to get that credit to be able to get my associate's degree. And I ended up, you know, passing that class that time with a different teacher. You
There
know,
you go.
and you know, when I talked to the dean, she's like, "What do you want me to do? Just take
Right.
another class, spend more
Just
money."
Spend more money with us, please.
Yeah.
Veggie Bad says, I learned drawing / art more from other artists than I do from college. College should only be for STEM / law. There's no shame in not getting a degree. Yes, and I think the stigma of not having a degree is going to very much erode over the next. You see it happening right now, but I said in a decade from now, way more. It really depends on the parents. The parents right now who are my age and 10, 15 years younger than this, who, if they have the same mindset and they see the worthlessness of having their kids go out into the workforce with, $50, $60, $100,000 in debt by the time they get out of school for a piece of paper, that's crazy, man. Instead of, I don't know, like take a year off. Go, if you want to talk about like getting a balanced worldview, give your kid the money, like give your kid a fraction of the money of what you would spend for admission, and let them travel. Let them see other cultures. Let them experience the world. You want to balance them out. Let them see how fortunate we are in America. Let them see other parts of the world, of the country. Not staying in great hotels. Let them rough it. Like, you want to talk about balancing it and letting a kid know how fortunate they are. Oh my gosh, there you go. Orthodox Monks came back, says one of the biggest disservices in college is in the philosophy department when professors heavily push nihilism on you. Indoctrination at its finest. Thanks, Orthodox Monk. And dude says, why do engineers need to take psychology classes? Ethics, yes, but engineers deal with facts, not feelings. Thank you, dude. And Dartmouth came back with 2, says, there's a movie dealing with the same thing called Accepted with Justin Long. Oh, yeah. I haven't actually watched that one, but I have seen it show up on Netflix or whatever. And then Big Top came in with a $10 direct donation, says, hey, yo. Or, hey, yo. Just wanted to get in on that. Just wanted to get on that go fuck yourself train. Let's go, Big Top. Thank you very much.
Listen, I found a song the chat wanted me to play, so here it is.
That's like, okay. We need to get another sub train going on right now, another membership train, so we can slowly fall asleep.
What was that, Paul? Paul's like, play this.
AH says, care to answer why college works out so well for Chinese, Indians, and Nigerians? Are you talking about in America or in the respective countries? And I think that's an important question to ask when asking about that. And I think it goes back to culture as well. True Pop says, as a Bachelor of Arts holder, this is depressing. I'm sorry to depress you. I apologize. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the stupid kid. God. All right. Look, we talk about the victim mentality attached to people today in college. And we also talk about the entrepreneurial spirit. And I say every single day that if you got a goal, go get it. This kid has a goal. And once again, my daughters are 9 and 11. So this kid is in the same age group, probably 4th grade, 5th grade. But a 10-year-old has started a petition to Apple to change this emoji because it's, quote, offensive for people wearing glasses. So this kid doesn't like the bucktooth glasses kid, and he just wants a simple smiley nerd happy guy. Now, Blabs, you are a glasses wearer.
I am a member of the Four Eyes community, yes.
Roddy, you also appear to be a member of the Four-Eyed community.
Indeed.
I also occasionally wear sunglasses, but also blue lights. You know what? Just for the occasion, let's just bop them on. There we go. Let's just get them on.
I mean, I have my contacts in, so if I put my glasses on, I'll be like. So.
I also
there we go. Bring on the nerds.
That's right.
More power to the nerds.
Have you, at any point in your life, ever looked at this mirror emoji and thought to yourself, why does everybody hate me?
No.
Instead, I go, finally, an emoji that looks like me.
Finally.
I feel represented now that I have an emoji that has glasses.
Look at how sad.
Like
Look at how sad this kid looks, by the way. The stern look on his face of just absolute sadness and depression. This is what's going to do it right here.
Maybe he hates his glasses. Mom, Dad, go take him to the eye place and get him a new pair of glasses that make him look fashionable.
More of us are in front of phones and tablets and computer screens. So we end up having to have glasses to begin with. We end up getting nearsighted because of it. And so it is a thing. But there was a time when having glasses meant you got beat up for being a nerd. That being said, that doesn't stop me from being me. You know, I'm more than happy to be a guy who can look up to with glasses and say, this guy's cool. You know, stop with this, oh, woe is me, I have glasses. No, hey, you have glasses. That means that you have 20/20 vision when you wear them. So wear them proudly. Just get ones that look nice on you.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue. People always seem to get really bad glasses that don't fit their faces. Everybody's different. You can't wear the same pair of glasses that someone else has and think you're going to look just as cool as they are. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And I think that's an issue.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yesterday, and once again, I don't want to dogpile on this kid because we just had a story yesterday about people dogpiling on a 5-year-old
poor kid.
game, right? I'm not going to do that. I don't think this has anything to do with this kid, if I'm being totally honest with you.
I think it's his parents.
I think it 100% has to do with this kid's parents. I would like this kid to be smiling all day long. I love that a 10-year-old had the courage to do this. But did he have the courage to do this? Did he look at these emojis and say, hey, that doesn't represent me? Or did his parents look at it?
Yeah,
and
because
say,
like, what 10-year-old is looking at all these emojis and stuff?
Zero 10-year-olds are looking this. That's the thing. Zero
Half
kids.
Of this,
are
I
looking
wonder
this.
though, is this for attention? Is this for the attention that he can now say that look at me, I got the glasses emoji changed, when not realizing that hey, you actually like the kid looks fine with them. Like they work, you know, and they're blue, they're cool. Like mine are, you know, more of a tan color. Like it is what it is. You know, you wear glasses. Like it's cool. There are lots of cool people who wear glasses, and not just me. You know, there are a lot of cool people, and yes, there was a time when wearing them meant you were a nerd. And okay, I'm a nerd, but like it's, but at the same time, like, look, you don't need you're not a victim because you know an emoji happens to have glasses that look like what you look like.
And also, there's the options of when he's older, because obviously you're not right now. I'd never suggest a 10-year-old put contacts in his eyes. Contacts, laser eye surgery when you're older.
I don't like wearing contacts, although I should be. But you know, it is what it is. Like I'd probably
have to, just because.
You know what? It'd probably be better if I wore contacts because then I can get on roller coasters without having to take my glasses off.
Yeah. Do you what do you guys do? Because. Do you just lose your glasses, or do you just go
no?
blind?
Well, I mean, I'll give an example. I end up having to like take them off, and then I have to look around, and I mean, I can see without my glasses, but I just not like there are some people who are much more nearsighted than I am, and you know, if I wore the contacts specifically to go to theme parks, then I'd be able to ride the roller coasters, at least the ones that go upside down. Mm-hmm. Without having to worry about losing them.
Craig's like on the whole coaster or Velocicoaster. Nerds.
What's that? No, not at all. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the responses to this post. And it's brilliant stuff. By the way, I think what this kid takes offense to is the buck teeth associated with this, right? And I got to be honest.
I think it's cute.
Me too. I think it's really cute. But you look at these responses, right? Donut operator, what a nerd, right? And this,
hey, they turned one of my favorite Transformers. You see that there is the one right there, the 10-year-old that they're using there. That's the one that looks horrible.
This one right here?
No, not the one that he's holding.
The Jotman?
The Jotman one.
Yeah, this one right here. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't really see anything wrong with it. For me, you can consider it as having buck teeth, or you consider it as a kid who doesn't have all of his teeth in yet.
I just, you know, I think they're both cute.
Yeah.
You know, they got these big
I see
old
nothing wrong
eyes.
with
They're,
this stuff.
you know,
It's
I think they're
adorable.
adorable.
Big
They
eyes
did
always
Wheeljack dirty.
represent
That's
urine
right. They did do
stuff.
Wheeljack dirty.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is, I think this is a great example of the victim
get me started
mentality
on
that is being passed down. Once again, I don't think this is on the kid. And if this kid, like something enters in a kid's system, if a parents are like, well, look, how do you feel about this emoji? How do you feel? Does this make you, and the kid's naturally going to go like, first he's probably going to go like, I don't care. And they're like, really? And then he's going to feel the pressure to be like, yeah, I this is really upsetting to me. So all of a sudden the kid becomes a victim and here we are, right?
Hey,
like,
remember the phrase that used to be passed around when we were kids that they don't use anymore? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
How is that not said every day? Like I remember I said that to my kids a couple of years ago, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, it means that words don't hurt." And you know what my youngest said? She goes, "But words do hurt." And I said, and we had to have this long conversation about how
feelings are temporary.
Right.
Feelings are they're temporary. You're hurt now, but can you get past that hurt? That like if it really hurts your emotions that badly, can you get past that? You know.
Well, I hope that we can get past this victim mentality from this kid, and that is being passed on by his parental units, and ultimately, like, you know, worst parents in the world, possibly. Treat your kids to be strong and have courage and to go after things, not to be sad and worry about the yellow emoji with the glasses and the buck teeth on their phone. It's ridiculous. Skeptical Panda came in and says it's literally for me. Thank you, Skeptical Panda. Appreciate that. And Extra Zero says, we need to encourage people, especially kids, to be able to laugh at themselves. Jokes can be used to build character rather than perpetual victims. Oh my God, nailed it, Extra Zero. Let's go with that.
I feel like we're not gonna have any comedians in the future because now these kids know how to make jokes and laugh at themselves.
Nikki over on Rumble says, it's my feelings, Craig. It's my feelings. And Orthodox Monk says, second movie quote of the day. Nerds. Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. Oh my God, what a great, I need to find that clip to go along with this one. Oh, I love it. Love it. Yeah, we definitely need to.
You brought me in. You had to go full nerd.
Absolutely.
Never go full nerd.
All right. And let's
go full nerd. Nerds are cool.
Damn right. That's the thing. Nerds are awesome. Like, nerds are socially acceptable now.
Cowabunga.
Yes, absolutely. Say it with your chest. Cowabunga.
Cowabunga.
That's right. Let them know. Let them know, Roddy. All right. Before we get into, by the way, we're going a little long today. All right. We've had a great conversation with Roddy. He's been great. We still haven't even got a chance to dig into Transformer talk, but we're going to do that in just a minute. But I want to, or should we hold on to the new Leroy Jenkins till tomorrow, Blabs? Or
we'll do it with Mel.
Okay, we'll do it with Mel. That sounds good. Roddy, unless you want to talk about it.
If you want to go for a minute or two about it, I mean, I could talk about it. I mean, it was hilarious because I brought you back with all your base art belonged to us. So
that's true. Okay, let's get into it then real fast. Okay. Back in the day, there was the famous Leroy Jenkins. He's running on in, and he gets his entire clan killed in World of Warcraft. It's a classic internet moment. Got passed around long before YouTube was a thing. It was viral before viral was viral. Before viral even had a word.
Mm-hmm.
And this was passed around the other day with 6 million views over on X, courtesy of Dexerto. And it says, every voice chat needs this guy. And this is, I don't know what game this is from, but I'll tell you this. For my money, these type of people, this is why voice chat exists more than anything else. So let's take a look at this clip.
We fucking did it, boys! The Forces! The Forces! We did it, lads! We fucking won!
By the way, look at his name. He's obviously rallying the troop. He's so excited that they just won. They got the fort.
Wait, they're coming!
Look at his actual name too.
Yeah, his music is great. He's over here just looking around. He's like, "They're coming, boys!"
Come on! Fucking get up here, guys! Get up here! Fucking come and get
No, Frederick. No.
I love the accent. It just makes it so much better.
With the
Right, it-
music
it is
and
clear-
everything, man.
It's clearly not even close to authentic, which is great. It's damn it,
Fucking
Frederick.
get 'em,
No, yeah,
lads.
it's so good. Frederick dies.
I
And
think
like,
we're really gonna get by without actually playing this.
listen to this guy. Listen to this guy in the back. He's like literally laughing. This is his chat, and you can hear him laughing at this guy.
Come on, you want it steel, Frederick? No, Frederick! Frederick scored the next kick. You might not surrender, you cock.
It's just brilliant, right?
This brings me
That's
back
some
to the
fun
days
gaming
of
right
like
there.
the crap talking we used to do in the arcades when you played Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. And you'd put your quarter up because you knew you were next, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, let's take this outside. Let's take, because like everybody be smack talking. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's bringing us back to that. You know,
Here's
the chats where they're playing games and they're having fun and they're, you know, they're getting really into it, you know, and they're not throwing the controller at the screen and like.
It's brilliant, man. The game is Hold Fast on PC. Thank you, Peter, in the chat for letting us know. I've never heard of this game, but I'll tell you what, that looks really fun. And this is also a great example of why I think that voice chat is so brilliant. You can turn voice chat off, but why would you turn off voice chat when you could have that type of experience in a real situation where the redcoats and their Scottish brethren are trying to defend the fort? apparently, Scott, I don't know. They're trying to defend the fort against the French. Like, it would be absolute chaos. And that's exactly what that guy represented, which is just so freaking funny. I love everything about it.
Like he got into the part. He literally got into the part.
You need people like that to bring, like, that enhances the game so much. The absolute chaos associated with it, which, as the agent of chaos, I certainly appreciate and value that. That is great. Do you have any great examples of voice chat that you remember playing a game, Roddy, that you'd like to share? So maybe somebody
Not
popped
voice
in,
chat.
or
Not voice chat, because a lot of the games that I normally play, like if I'm playing multiplayer, are usually local, like with a friend over and we're playing, or a couple of friends over and we're playing Mortal Kombat with each other and playing Street Fighter with each other. That was like back in the day. And since then, now any games that I'm playing, any modern games that I would play nowadays would be more on the single player campaigns anyway, because of time. So yeah, I never really got into the voice chats, but it was always fun to like hear everybody's experiences about it. Because just, you know, I'm too busy trying to get everything, trying to get through the single player campaign. So, but I absolutely loved that became a thing, you know, that everybody gets to experience. So
I'll say this. I think that I have a new game I need to check out called Hold Fast, because if everybody's getting into it like that, oh yeah, that is my type of game. I would, it'd be awesome.
Nice.
Be very hard to stream on YouTube, because I'm sure
That'll be your Rumble and Kick exclusive streams.
Right. Oh my God. I would be that guy. That's the thing. I would be the guy who's like, we gotta fucking do it, lads. Let's go. And just totally disgracing all the Scottish people with a horrible accent.
I've played in lobbies like that before. I was playing this game called Starship Troopers Extermination. It was kind of in a beta phase a couple months ago. And I just went there going, hey guys, let's be friends. All these guys are like, get back in the fucking kitchen. Why is there a woman here? I thought it was hysterical. And even Apex, if I don't have a third player, I'll just be like, hey man, you got a mic? How you doing? And he'll be like, oh, fuck yourself. I'm like, all right. I think it's hysterical. I just think it's fun.
There are choice words that you could literally say in the chat as a female that you would probably be able to get by and make them really upset. You know what? Mm-hmm. You know, and because normally the phrase is, you know, fellatio, you know, for it. Well,
I just think it's the funniest shit. I just take it with stride. Yeah. It's good stuff. I'm invading a guy's space. I'm not going to be treated like equal.
Here's the thing, Blabs. You have what is called a sense of humor.
Yeah.
That is very hard to find these days, which is great. Hey,
she's a good paisan. That's why, you know.
What are you saying? I don't understand.
so unbelievably racist, Roddy. It's crazy.
You never heard the word paisan before?
No, of course we have. Yeah, we're just kidding.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, speaking of people without a sense of humor, Chess cousin doesn't, because he says my cousin honestly got deeply offended and angry when I sent him the nerd emoji a few weeks ago. He took it like a personal insult. Just keep sending it to him every day. Eventually he'll get over it. Just beat him over the head with it, which is great. No, I love it, Roddy. Can we get some more? Like, that's the beauty of accents, is that they offend people who have no sense of humor. Will you offend Blabs more with a bad Italian accent?
Yeah, I still don't know what he was trying to say to me.
What are you talking about here? You know?
What are you in New York City? I'm walking here. No, get it.
No. Look, let me tell you something, Blabs. Okay, you keep running your mouth, okay, and you sitting there talking about how you sit and get in a corner, right? And then you're gonna sit there and try to insult me. What are you talking about here? You know?
It could be
forget about it.
My God, it's ridiculous. I feel like
how do you shut an Italian up?
Uh-oh.
Give him a sandwich.
Tie their hands behind their back.
Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go.
Because we can't talk without our hands.
What's wrong? What's wrong with that, Blabs? Are you offended?
No.
Do I
thought
need
he
to
was going to say, give me a sandwich, give me a piece of pizza. Like, but no.
Do I need to get you?
Hands.
Roddy, are you Italian?
Oh, I go Virginia. Sheesh. Couldn't tell.
Blabs is like, no. Blabs is authentic.
She actually speaks Italian. It's not like me, you know, where I'm third generation.
Well,
you know?
like discount Italian?
Oh no! Look at Blabs puffing out her chest.
Oh,
you're just a discount Italian. You probably like that Prego spaghetti sauce, not the real shit. Blabs over here.
Do you cook the meatballs in the sauce? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my mom makes the best meatballs. Oh my gosh.
And not ragu. Not ragu. It's got to be handmade with get the tomato paste. You got to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have we're definitely going to have cooking time with Blabs someday, where she teaches us how to make it.
Okay, can I go over your house one day and I'm like, all right,
you get that reference.
We're going.
Right? Cooking with Scorpion. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. Back in the day. That was a great one.
You can be cooking with the queen.
All right, let's move away from meatballs and marinara sauce and move on to what's really important. Trans-fucking-formers. All right. So for those of you who don't know, we're popping in. Roddy has joined us for the first time today, which is great. Had enjoyed having you on. And he has a YouTube channel with about 100,000 subscribers where he talks pretty much, it says retro gamer and the love of Transformers, which, as you can tell from the channel, all Transformers all the time. Okay. My friend, am a Transformer noob. I think the last time I actually sat, I know Transformers, rollouts and all that stuff. And I think that Transformers are cool. I love the idea of toys transforming into different things, whether it's a robot into a car or a robot into a gun or whatever, or a tank or something. I love all that stuff, or even a dinosaur, right? But I've never just got into the lore. So give me 30 seconds of why I should hop into the lore of Transformers.
Well, it's two warring factions, Autobots versus Decepticons, with the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. The Autobots were initially all able to turn into cars and trucks, so they were on the ground, whereas the Decepticons could be airborne. They were more military orientated. The Decepticons believed in peace through tyranny, with Megatron as the leader, and Optimus Prime led the Autobots to bring about peace, because what they were looking for was to revitalize. Both factions were looking to revitalize their home world, and so that they were out searching for energy. But at the same time, you have one that wants to revitalize their planet and then conquer the galaxy, which is the Decepticons, and you have the Autobots who want to revitalize their planet and live in peace.
Now, which one of those represents the? Oh, sorry. I was going to say, which one of those represents the United States of America?
maybe one way to look at it. I mean,
no. I'm just kidding. I
yeah,
was thinking about when
the lore went further and further, and it changed over time because they didn't want to continue with the zeitgeist of high gas prices, which now kind of seems stupid by retrospect. And so they changed it to the Allspark that they were after, which is the life-giving source of what gives Transformers life in those continuities, because they keep changing the continuity from the original to be what the origin of the Transformers were. But reality, the original idea behind it was that they were after energy and they were looking to revitalize their home world, which was dying because of their war. Their war caused their planet to basically be a dying world. And which is why when you see the first episode of the cartoon, you notice there's a big chunk of Cybertron missing. And, the Autobots look to protect life. They don't want to harm others. And the Decepticons believe, again, peace through tyranny, in that they want to after revitalizing their home world, they want to kill all the Autobots and then conquer the universe. So
the chat's pointed out several times the 40th anniversary of Transformers is coming up next year. And that's something that it seems like Transformers has been around for way longer than that, personally, because they've been around pretty much my entire, my entire life that I've been able to, recognize commercial products.
You and I were born the same year, I think, right? We're born in 81.
81, right? So for me, they've been around for as long as I can remember. Now, I remember seeing the original movie in theaters, and that's, for a lot of people our age, people look to that movie as a crazy point in their development, because obviously at the very, very beginning of the movie, like, the lead gets killed off, and it was extremely, like, upsetting and sad.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did they do that?
Well, they did it because they wanted to sell more toys. At the end of the day, Transformers is a toy commercial. And no matter what, and for everybody who hates Transformers being a toy commercial, everything is pretty much a commercial. If you really, really, really break it down, everything is pretty much a commercial. But the writers of the stories were more interested in telling a good story. And so when they were told that they had to tell the story of Optimus Prime dying, then they had to do it in a way that Optimus would live on with a legacy. And so now you have 65 episodes of the cartoon, and now the movie takes place 20 years in the future, which in 1985 was 2005. Makes it really sound like it's not that far off. They really had high hopes for us, didn't they? That we were going to be on hoverboards and flying in space and stuff, for 20 years in the future. But 20 years in the future, Optimus Prime and Megatron now have their final confrontation, and a new generation of Autobots and Decepticons, along with some of the old ones, are now still fighting, and a new leader has to rise to save the galaxy from a threat even greater than the Decepticons, and that is Unicron. So beyond good, beyond evil, beyond our wildest imagination, takes us through an adventure that, a young Autobot has to rise from our ranks and use the power of the Matrix to light our darkest hour. So
what is it about the Transformers that really drew you in? Is it the story? Is it the coolness of the characters transforming back and forth? Like, why you built an entire channel around this?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much all of that. Everything from the cars and the trucks and the planes turning into robots to the characters. The voice actors in the original cartoon were just amazing. I mean, Frank Welker doing like half of the Decepticons, to, Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime, to, Dan Gilvezan's Bumblebee, to, so many different characters that, you draw to. And, every single great thing about Transformers is that there are so many characters that you can latch onto a few of them and really love those few characters and want to see more about that stuff. Then it's the lore. Then it's the, what is the proper, like there's a continuity glitch with the origin of the Constructicons. There is a You know, the what is the power of the Matrix? Where did the Transformers come from? What makes them turn into cars and trucks and airplanes and stuff? And then, of course, when you get the toys in your hand and you're actually playing with them, turning this robot into a car, you now have 3 toys. You have a robot that's you can play with, you have a car that you can play with, and you have a puzzle, turning that car into that robot and then turning it back.
Never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That's
So when
interesting.
you actually think about it, you actually have 3 toys. So and really it's an ingenious thing from the Japanese, because Transformers as a toy line started in Japan with actually could even go back further than that. G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe created those 12-inch action figures, right? And what they did was they, in Japan, when the price of oil went through the roof in the 70s, and they had to shrink down the Henshin cyborg, which was using the actual molds of G.I. Joe, they shrunk it down to Micro Man. And Micro Man had to get these different battle play sets, and then they had these transforming accessories for it. And then Diaclone, where you had vehicles that were piloted. So all of those toy lines, Hasbro saw them in Japan and said, let's import that. Well, where are we going to come up with a story? Let's go to the House of Ideas, the actual good House of Ideas when it was known as Marvel Comics. So they went to Jim Shooter, who wrote the original 8-page story treatment, and Bob Budiansky, who wrote every single profile from 1984 through 1989 for every single Transformers character, and they're detailed. You can go into what I remember earlier when I talked about Trailbreaker, and he talked about how much that character what made him tick, right? You think about that character. Are you that, like, do you actually care about that character? Well, if you actually read his profile, then you watch an episode of the cartoon that features that character, or you read an issue of the comic book that features that character. So you buy a toy that has the profile, and it tells you all about that character. This is why G.I. Joe also sold so well too in the 80s too. You would go watch an episode of the cartoon, and you would get to know that character. Oh man, Red Alert actually is paranoid. There's the episode Auto Berserk where Red Alert is like, he's paranoid. Or you get an episode where they're featuring the crazy antics of Wheeljack and how he's building stuff. He ends up building the Dinobots. So, and yeah, so that's where all that storylines comes from. And but that's where I got like latched in. But then of course you had the movie, and the movie was like a big event, and season 3 takes place after the movie. So here I am as a kid, I go see the movie in the theater, and now season 3 starts right where, like, picking up where the movie left off, and you have these new characters like Rodimus Prime, and now Megatron has been rebuilt into Galvatron, and Ultra Magnus is number 2 to Rodimus, and in a lot of ways, Rodimus ends up becoming the Picard, and Ultra Magnus the Riker, and Galvatron is the insane all of Megatron's inhibitions are completely taken off because he kills Starscream, and so like all of that stuff in season 3 is cool. And then Trax befriending the breakdancing kid, like so many cool things that like you can latch onto with a character. And that's why I enjoy Transformers, and why there are so many robots on the shelves here, right? And more are in the bins over here, and I got containers over there full of Transformers, because there's something about each and every single character that you can like latch to and really, really fall in love with. And whereas other franchises that you have a core group like the Thundercats, or you have He-Man, and while He-Man has a lot of supporting cast, He-Man is the main draw, whereas Transformers, you have so many different characters that you can latch onto. So, and any one of them could be your favorite.
Obviously, I think the thing is there's a lot of depth with each character, and I think
I just went on a rant, so it's
I love it. I love it. I mean, it shows that you're extremely passionate about it, which is great. How has the series changed? It seems obviously over the course of 40 years, you're going to see culture change and things shift. But this comes from Orbital Vacant, says Transformers has been overrun by woke identity politics and the community is beyond toxic.
Depends upon what circles you're in, you know. There's I almost say that there's like a Transformers series for everybody. Some that you may feel are not for you, and that's fine. I enjoy the classics. I enjoy Generation 1, and where Primal comes from is from Beast Wars. And Beast Wars was in the 90s. Transformers was having a hard time selling, to at the time, because they had the Generation 2, which didn't do really well. And Beast Wars, like, revitalized Transformers in such a magnificent way. And it even connected to Generation 1 because the characters were actually the future characters of the Autobots and the descendants of the Autobots and the Decepticons. But now they're turning into animals and dinosaurs and insects. And they're fighting on a prehistoric world, which turns out to be Earth. And so Beast Wars was fantastic. It revitalized the brand. It's where Optimus Primal is a different character. It's where I'm a Rodimus fan, so I'm also a Beast Wars fan. So Optimus Primal, that's where RodimusPrimal comes from. And then so I started joining the message boards around that time. But then the franchise then changed in the early 2000s when they started going to more an anime style of Transformers, and Pokemon was huge, right? So Pokemon was got to catch them all. Well, Armada begins with a brand new continuity, and Transformers Armada is got to catch all the mini-cons. So all these mini Transformers where they have these gimmicks that, like, you attach it to a Transformer and now a missile launcher comes out, or, something along those lines. But 2001 Robots in Disguise was an anime as well, which was Car Robots dubbed. And then Transformers Animated was a reboot. It was a retelling, kind of like in a more cartoony style, like Teen Titans style of animation, because of Derek J. Wyatt's artwork around that time. And then the movies came out and completely changed the characters, not in a way that I particularly care for. Never really cared for the live action films, even though I've seen every single one in the theater.
Right.
And the success of the movies led to Transformers Prime being a whole nother continuity. But what really changes it is that they keep rebooting it. And I don't necessarily think it's for the better, because a lot of times they'll reboot a franchise because they got to keep the marketing. They got to keep the franchise, the brand alive in order to sell more toys. So, hey, they'll go 5 or 6 years, and then let's hit the reset button again. Let's go another 3 or 4 years, and let's hit the reset button again. This one didn't turn out so well after a year or two. Let's hit the reset button again. And
is that frustrating for you? Is that frustrating as a fan to kind of have to?
It's very frustrating because it doesn't connect me. I can watch the new series and enjoy some of the new characters that come out in it, but it's hard for, unless you're a super Transformers nerd like myself, a lot of the newer series you'll get lost in. Whereas I go, like, let's go back to where it began. Let's look where it started and see where it all began. And I want to get into that. So, like, I'll watch the original cartoon, and I'll just, as much as I love a lot of the characters, season 3, the animation, I realize it takes a dip. And then the computer animation used in Beast Wars was rudimentary even for the time. Like, it was it's the second TV show that was computer generated, because Reboot was made by the same company. And but when they keep hitting the reset button, it becomes frustrating, and I don't see that same connection, because then what happens is that you get the Transformers Prime fan who despises the Earthspark fan, and you get the IDW fan who despises the Beast Wars fan. Like, they all fight with each other, and that's where the community can get toxic. Where I go, hey, I love Transformers, guys. I don't necessarily like the new stuff, but I love the old stuff. Like, I love the original. I like where it started. I like those origins. And I would love it for them to make a continuation of where Generation 1 left off, in the US continuity anyway. So there's a whole bunch of lore that I can get into. So
Sure. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about, like, the new series with Earthspark. I'm not super familiar with this, but this is apparently. Have you watched much of Earthspark? The new show?
I watched a few episodes. I didn't care for it because I don't necessarily like the idea of Megatron being a good guy. And to me, I'm just like, I can't get behind that. It's like, would you want Joseph Stalin or Hitler to be considered a good guy? Megatron is evil. Why are we turning him into a good guy and just like a sorry sap of a good guy? You know? And so I never really I didn't care for that mindset. And yeah, I know that there are politics stuff in it, and I think it's like current day stuff, but you know, if I don't necessarily care for the characters, that like if you're not really delivering for me the characters in a way that I can feel connected to it, it's like I have a hard time enjoying it the same way that I do the older stuff.
Right.
And
right.
so
yeah, that was the most recent controversy with Transformers was the robot that used they them pronouns and all that. So that was, I'm sure. So when you see something like that, you know, I'm sure that with the amount of reboots that you see of the franchise, I'm sure your audience is always shifting as well. You probably have new people coming in that are introduced to it for the first time. They may be younger, you know, but you also have to balance the established fans who have been watching it since it started out, right? How do you balance, or is your channel primarily built around? You said primarily G1, right? But for the most part, you know, you could obviously cater to the younger fans, maybe, or by talking about these new lines. Or are you?
I mean, I talk about the new toys that come out. If the cartoon comes out and I like it, I'll say that I like it, and if I say that I don't like it, I don't like it. Mm-hmm. You know, my attitude is if more people don't like it and don't watch it, then it won't sell, and they'll have to do the same thing again with Transformers that they've been doing for 20 years. And then that is continue to hit the reset button. If EarthSpark is not successful, then they'll have to hit the reset button. And so when I see that stuff, I mean, people are going to be fans. I have, you know, fans who are of my channel who come from all different walks of life. And I say, hey, all the fans are welcome. If I don't like something, doesn't necessarily mean, and I disagree with you, let's say politically, or, you know, my personal beliefs or what have you, I don't necessarily think that like pushing those fans away is a bad thing. I think it's like more so like, hey, can we all be Transformers fans together? Can we all enjoy these plastic robots? You know, and if I don't like something, hey, do I want to speak out about it? Or do I want to just say, I don't care for that, I won't watch it? You know, like I don't care for Megatron being a good guy. You know, that's the thing that bothers me more. So, and I don't think that I don't know, like it's kind of how I feel about like EarthSpark. It's just, I didn't like that particular thing was like a thing for me where I was like, I don't really like that, you know? And,
and you know, I think that's the thing that's missing in a lot of these fandoms is like, you know, you don't have to like everything. You don't have to like everything that like, I may not like, you know, I'm not a huge fan of whatever, let's just say the new Street Fighter, right? That doesn't mean I'm not going to give the next one a shot, right? Yeah. I have enough, just because there's one bad line.
Have you played 6? I haven't played it yet.
No, I haven't really. I played like the demo of it. It wasn't really, it didn't do enough to draw me yet. But
I didn't care for 5 bothered me. I was like,
but I was just using it as an example, right?
We can go on a divergent, but let's
right. But I think that's the nuance of it, right? Is you don't have to like everything that they put out. I think the problem is when there becomes a track record associated with it, right? Like when you see with what's happening with Disney is, you know, there's a track record of failure. Eventually, that audience the company needs to listen to its fans for sure. So that's awesome.
For Transformers, though, it does seem that they are listening to the fans to a degree. You know,
that's great.
Least on Hasbro's end. I don't necessarily know about the showrunners. I don't necessarily know about the comic book creators. But I do know, I mean, actually, I will say I do know what the comic book creators, specifically Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer, there are things that Hasbro said, hey, can you not do this in the comic? Or in the cartoon, you know, specifically, it's whatever they want to do. I'm rather more focused on the stuff that I enjoy and try to get more people excited about the stuff that I enjoy about Transformers. So I want
great.
to talk more about the Generation 1. I want to talk more about the Beast Wars. And I want to get the newer fan who comes in and get them excited about the old stuff so they can go, hey, you know what? I don't like the new stuff either. I'd rather go back to the old stuff. Can we get more of the old stuff too, even to the younger fan? And so a lot of the younger fans that have come in will watch my channel and go, hey, man, I love this generation. That this guy right here really knows his Transformers stuff. Let me actually watch Generation 1. Okay, yeah, it's got a little 80s hokiness to it, but you know, hey, 90s Beast Wars, like the humor was fantastic. Like the way that they did the humor in that show was awesome. And so I would get more people excited about that, and I'd rather see more people turn that way into because just the concept of Transformers is cool. Like I said before, a plastic robot that can turn into a car, and then the puzzle of turning it from a robot to a car. How do you do that?
Love it.
So, and when I say the 80s hokiness is because, I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. It is what it is. So it's like,
right. Well, Dungeon came in and says, the toys that made us had a great episode detailing all of this. Yeah.
Yep. And then there was, in the 80s also, there was the war between GoBots and Transformers. So, who was it? You know, I was actually on the Toys That Built America season 3.
You're seen as a go-to in the Transformers world.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So they brought me on and, you know, to talk about the war between GoBots and Transformers and how Transformers end up winning in the end. So yeah.
Nice. Love it. Gary's Beardcrafts came in and says Orson Welles' final line of dialogue in the film.
Destiny.
Go ahead and read it.
Destroy Destiny. Destiny. His head blows
Xander
off.
says, play the Homer nerd clip after he explained Transformers. Well, I think it sounds like a great opportunity. You can't play.
There we go.
We got doubled up there, Blabs. We need to get multiple. We definitely need to get the one of Ogre saying nerds as well. We put that as a note, Blabs. It's a great
I'm a nerd. I'm more than willing to admit I'm a nerd, and
that's right.
I'm a nerd about multiple franchises too. I mean, I can't wait to see Godzilla -1.
I know how to piss you off.
Say again.
I know how to piss you off.
Is it with an emoji?
No.
Oh, okay.
Transformers are Gundams.
I'll take care of her. Says, I missed out on Transformers when I was a young kid. When I was young, since I was born in '87, I got into Beast Wars version, and love that.
And you know what was great about Beast Wars was that it was the bridge between the old fan and the new fan. When they went in at the end of season 2, if you watch the original Transformers and then you watch Beast Wars and you get to the end of season 2. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when they go into the arc and everything. And Gundam Wing was a fun series. And then Mobile Suit Gundam, and you know, I can talk about plastic robots.
Don't give in to her, man. Don't give in. She's trying to get you to go on a rant. Don't do it. Don't give in to her. She's just a hater. She doesn't understand what she said, man. She doesn't understand.
I totally do. I have friends who like Transformers, and I know how to trigger people with this.
Mercenary says, I have the Ecto-1 Transformer /Ghost.
As do I. And I have Gigawatt, the transforming DeLorean.
Let's go. Love that.
Yep.
Dice Punk came back, says, mainly the dialogue was written like it was made to be clipped for TikTok. Not to mention the voice directing was insufferable. The owl toy was nice. Thanks, Dice Punk.
I've heard that the Nightshade toy was actually a good figure. But I'm more so, again, I'm collecting more of the modern legacy stuff. So
love it. Oh, yeah. You know, this is actually a really good question. Is it figure or figure?
Figure.
Action what?
Action figure.
That's right. Damn right it is. All right. This has been a long going discussion. I think literally since day 1 of our podcast of how to pronounce figure.
Figure.
We're not toys. We're action figures.
That's figures. Listen, I need everybody. We have a treat coming up in about 45 seconds. So just hang tight. Don't go anywhere yet, but open up a new tab and head over to the RodimusPrimal YouTube channel and go subscribe to him. And if you guys like the Transformer talk, I guarantee you can get a shit ton of it over on his channel. What's your release schedule look like?
Things have been crazy as of late, but actually I do have a video I'm working on currently right now. I'm actually working on the review for this. And I'm also working on a retrospective for a couple of new characters, a couple of retrospectives, because that's what, like, my main thing. If you notice, like, I do a lot of retrospectives on characters. A specific character that my kids just absolutely adore, and he's the first Autobot to die in the 86 movie. Is Braun. I'm working on a video on him. I'm working on a video for Red Alert, or a script for that, or a script for Perceptor. I want to do something with how much of Galvatron and Cyclonus and Scourge are their previous selves. You know, I have like lots of scripts in the works, but but the problem is that, like, it takes me time to write each one.
Yeah, it's hard.
Do the research and really make sure that what I'm talking about is not only accurate, but is can get you along to the history on that character. So, like, I'll give an example with Braun. They've used that name again in Robots in Disguise where they used X Braun for the US version of the character, Wild Ride. Or there's a character like Overhaul, who looks like Braun in Transformers Cybertron, and then they actually made more Braun figures and stuff like that. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll
Love it. Well,
leave
listen,
that be. You know, so like there's what's it call it? You know, so many like characters I want to continue to work on. That people have asked me for too. Like, people have asked me for, can you do a video on this guy, or can you do a video on that guy? And
well, it sounds like you got a good content catalog lined up, if you like.
Well,
sure.
I could be making retrospective. Just look at the shelf there. Like,
Of course.
There's how many characters to work. The original Generation 1 cartoon had what, 250 different Transformers.
I know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you could do one a week for several years, and you'd be great. You know,
Yeah.
Like, I think that'd
And get more people to watch my content. That's the real thing. That, and the subscribe, and the channel memberships, and the patrons, and the this and that, and you know,
keep building, baby. Keep going hard.
Exactly.
Oblivious Abobo says Mortal Kombat tries to have it both ways, soft reboot and retcon, which I thought the point of doing a reset, even a soft one like MK, is so you don't confuse fans and keep track of the retcons. Yeah, and that's kind of what they did with Mortal Kombat 11. Which,
yeah,
you know, so
well, they did that with 9 technically.
Yeah, that's true. And it did 2 games later, here we are. Dice Smoke Studio says, as a son of the colonies, I say figure. God save the queen. Chat, is it figures or figures? Let us know.
Action figures.
Action with those hands. Get those hands up. Okay, yeah. I mentioned we have a special treat for you today because Blabs doesn't know this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you doing?
But Kratos El Gratos has come in with a $100 direct donation. Look at it.
Jeez.
Oh,
Says Blabs.
Please
sing That's Amore in the thickest possible Italian accent. Rodimus may duet if he feels like it.
Wow.
Now, this is a deal, Rodimus, that when if we have a $100 direct donation, they can request a song for Blabs to sing in a stereotypical accent. She's done all sorts of various accents, and today Blabs gets to keep it home. But with That's Amore, give it up for Kratos El Gratos, which is outstanding, coming in. And while you get that queued up, I'm also going to let you know that dude came in with a $1 Rumble rant. Says, if there's a RodimusPrimal versus, is there a RodimusPrimal versus Extra Zero stream? Would be a great stream to see them geek out with their models. So Extra Zero is a super Transformer fan.
Yes, he is.
Okay, you know Extra Zero?
I know who Extra Zero is.
Okay,
we hung out in TFCon in Baltimore.
Love
Extra
that.
Zero is the one who recommended.
Okay, perfect. Then wonderful. Then that's how we made the connection right here. Blabs are going to get to singing here in just a second. But the axe to the head says, to make a long story short, the Transformers has been around so long, they're naturally something for just about everyone if you dig deep enough.
Indeed.
Thanks. The axe to the head.
Indeed.
Appreciate that. And Xander came back, says, are you getting Missing Link CO2?
I want to get the cartoon one. Okay, so what they're doing is they're releasing the original G1 Optimus Prime toy. They're using that model same scale and everything, but it's going to be super posable. They're doing a toy accurate color one that comes with the trailer, and they're doing a cartoon accurate one with the colors. So he's going to have yellow eyes for the one with the trailer and blue eyes for the one with the that's more cartoon accurate, but it doesn't come with the trailer. I'm going to go for the one that that's more cartoon accurate, because I already have a trailer, like, you know, because I already have a G1 Optimus Prime toy, but I would certainly love one that's cartoon accurate, just as posable as more of the more modern action figures. And it's G1 Prime, man. Heck yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Thank you very much, Rodimus. Appreciate you. And once again, if you'd like to sing with Blabs, you're more than welcome. Though I don't know if you'd want to, but ladies and gentlemen,
I'm a terrible singer, but my wife is the leader is a worship leader at our church. But you know, so
well, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Courtesy of Kratos El Greatos, I present to you the one, the only Blabs singing "That's Amore" in the thickest possible Italian accent. The floor is yours, Blabs.
All right. Hate you for doing this, Kratos. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Oh, look, I got a backup singer.
That's
when
amore.
The world seems to shine like you've had too much wine,
that's amore.
Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll sing Vita
Let's have
Bella.
some pizza.
Have some pie, tippy-tippy-tay, like a
More
gay
accent, Blabs. More accent.
tarantella.
More accent.
I can't. I have this American accent. It doesn't really work that well. Ta-da! Right. I did the whole first verse. That's the best you're gonna get. No!
Wow. No!
I pulled myself back.
Excuse me, princess.
But I do like the sway that you had there, which was
Dude, I karaoke to Dean Martin all the time. It's great.
All right, very good.
Especially
All right, Kratos, thanks for doing that to Blabs.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Appreciate that. See, Kratos love. He says, "Love it, Blabs," which is great. All right, so with that said, we went extra long today. These shows have been going long the last few days, and we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Super nerd on the show, you know.
That's how it happens. You're passionate about it, and it's great. But appreciate you guys popping in. I'll be live over on the Side Scrollers Place channel, finishing up the Mega Man Funathon. But first, we got memes, don't we, Blabs?
Yes. Okay. So Extra Zero went out today, and he says, "In honor of RodimusPrimal appearing on Side Scrollers, allow me to illustrate what would happen if a Decepticon Blabs yeeted Craig from stream." All right, here we go.
Yeet.
This is bad comedy.
I like movies that have sand in them.
Here's a hint.
Oh no! Oh no!
Will anyone else accept this issue?
Oh!
Will anyone else attempt to fill his shoes?
What did he say his name was?
Oh, that's
Decepticon.
awesome. Brilliant. Extra Zero, thank you for that. Sorry, I died for you. Oh, we got more.
It says, "I think Tarkin has taken it too far with the Blabs wheelchair Santa. Look at the
Oh no!
What is
Love
that
it.
face?"
I don't know, but I love it. I love it.
And that's it. So we got to 2. Thank you, Extra Zero.
All right,
It's called
amazing
Blabs
stuff.
is transforming and rolling out.
Love that.
Roll out.
All right, it's time for us to roll out. Thank you guys very much for tuning in today. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. If you're new, make sure you guys subscribe. And, of course, head over to Roddy's channel. You can find the link in the description to go subscribe and watch more Transformer content. You got an entire backlog of stuff to go watch. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff today, guys. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Find me over on the Side Scrollers Place channel in just a little bit as I finish up the Mega Man 10 playthrough and the entire Mega Man Funathon. Go follow Blabs over on Kick, where she's watching all the hot women take off their clothes. And we'll see you guys tomorrow here on Side Scrollers with Melanie Mack at 11 a.m. Central Time. Looking forward to seeing you guys then. 42 new members today. Appreciate y'all's support. Let's keep it up. Let's keep the streak going on. You guys have a great rest of your day. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.